is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. BoxingVoice.com.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
I must be the greatest. Let's get that done. I've been here before and I know what it takes. Hard work, dedication, BoxingVoice.com. Man, well, he's the best.
Win, lose, or draw, we coming to fight. Can't nobody take that away. We're coming to fight.
They do what they can, I do what I want.
When you look at how he throws that left hook, it starts out really low. We're going to see what kind of character he has.
On the left and right by Maidana. And it's all Marcos Maidana. Here's a lot of those punches off his shoulder.
I think anybody out there listening or a kid, anybody, think that that's a dangerous deal to make. I think it's a perfect deal to make.
BoxingVoice.com.
15 minutes. Can you be strong for 15 minutes? Can you? Listen, the concentration is leaving a little bit. Pick it up. Pick it up!
Some things about we got to deal with his body shots. I don't think you want to be that close to us. He's talking about letting the left hook go, then you don't take the left hook.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another jam-packed morning edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. Hashtag TBV Podcast, wherever hashtags are used. You know the number to call in and voice your opinion on the Voice of the People hotline. 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Now, don't forget, we are having two guests this morning. We're going to have Chino Rivas, who is Raul Chino Rivas, the trainer, Tevin Farmer, the trainer, Stephen Ortiz, Thomas Cornflake Lamana, and so many others. And we'll also be having Franchon Crews Dazn. You know that she lost her titles unjustly because of a positive test result on the behalf of Alejandra Jimenez. So hashtag get the belts back. We're going to have her on because we do want to ask, does this particular fight or the winner of this fight take that number one female pound for pound slot? Or does Claressa sit pretty at the top? I did send some messages out to Claressa. We're waiting back to see if she's going to have the time. I know she's in the UK, so she's up right now. See if she's going to have the time to come on. Also put some messages out to Lou DiBella, who told me 10 o'clock sounds good for him. The issue with that is he told me that after I already scheduled Franchon Crews for 10 o'clock. So we're going to play some juggling here. We're going to have maybe Lou. We're going to have maybe definitely Chino Rivas. And we're going to definitely have Franchon Crews Dazn. Let's see if we can, shuffle our feet a little bit and get Lou still squeezed into it. But we're here to talk none other than Taylor Serrano, a fight that we've been waiting for a long time. Undisputed World Lightweight Championship. All the belts, all the marbles, May 2nd, a co-main event to an already good heavyweight main event in Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. So I think this is a good co-main event, its own main event, really. A lot taking place in women's boxing, and I felt it was necessary to shine some sort of light on it. But let me head on out to my co-host in Corpus Christi, Texas, Mario Munguia. Good morning.
It's me, Mario.
Morning. Feel good. I finished Ozark finally last night, so ready for season 3 in Netflix at the end of the month, I think. So that's going to be dope. And yeah, man, this is such great news. This is awesome. I know that there were rumors. All the top journalists have been tweeting, kind of cryptic messages from promoters and stuff like that. So we kind of, knew that this was coming. I wouldn't say knew it was coming, but expected it at least, and now it being confirmed. Man, this is one of those rare fights that's so good, it makes the main event better. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was like, oh, it's on White, Povetkin, and then I was reading a story or a breakdown from a friend of mine on Twitter, and about the fight, and And then I got done reading it, and I looked, and I'm like, oh shit, it's on White Povetkin. Damn, that's a really good fight. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just has that kind of feel to it. It has that kind of, I guess, greatness behind it. Two names that we've had in this division for a long time. And this is what we need. This is what boxing needs. This is what female fighters need. To be in fights on stages like this against each other and create classics that help build this sport, because that's exactly what they did with the UFC and women's fighting. For those that don't know, Ness, he doesn't watch a lot of sports. The one thing when I knew him in 2013 and I first met him that was so shocking, he's probably the only guy that ever watched Strikeforce and not UFC. He had Showtime, so he watched Strikeforce. So he was already familiar, with women's MMA first before only UFC fans. So, yeah, man, this is going to be a great fight. I'm excited for it.
This fight has been a long time coming. Katie Taylor fought and defeated Cindy Serrano, the other Serrano sister. Many are calling Serrano the most powerful puncher at 135. I guess we'll see. We seen her fight with Heather the Heat Hardy. She has the most experience in terms of fights fought, right? And she's Puerto Rican. The only problem is that this fight is going to be in Manchester Arena. They're not really capitalizing off of her Puerto Rican ethnic background, New York City, nothing. This is Manchester. This is Katie Taylor's not home, because isn't she from Ireland? I mean, I don't understand why they didn't do their own separate main event. Like, think about this for a minute. Yesterday, they did not announce Povetkin White on Dazn. They waited until today or yesterday to announce the second fight with Serrano and Taylor for Dazn to come out and say, okay, we're airing this. So were they waiting? Was it a 2-for-1 special? I don't know. But from the outside looking in, it looks like the Serrano-Taylor fight is what tipped Dazn to go ahead and put this on their air, because they really aren't in the Dillian White business. They've passed up on a few Dillian White fights, one or two at least, just so that no rabid, fanatic of Dillian White like, no, they aired 2 fights already. But like, we know that one time he was on Showtime. One time he was when he fought Markham Tam, he was like Top Rank. Yeah, I mean, they did do the Vok fight because it was the Saudi Arabia card. But I don't think they did the Rivas, right? Where did we see Rivas? That was Top Rank, right?
I'm pretty sure it was Top Rank.
I'm not sure.
Rivas' last couple fights were on Top Rank. I mean, ESPN, so that would have made sense. But no, it's funny that you bring that up, because actually I saw, what's his name from, can't remember who it was now. There was a little back and forth on Twitter about it, and somebody said, I can't remember who it is. I'll find it in a second, because I definitely want to give him a shout out, and definitely want to make sure that I'm not saying this like I know. But somebody said that the reason why was because Dazn was a secondary carrier in the contracts, and they couldn't announce it until 48 hours or 24 hours or whatever.
How are you the secondary carrier when you're the U.S.?
I don't know. That's what, again, this isn't even me saying this. Like, I saw this on Twitter, and the only thing that made sense to me was that somebody would get the ability in a contract to announce it on their platform and have somebody have to wait to start, sharing it, that they're carrying the fight too. You know what I mean? And then giving that second party okay, well, you're going to be able to announce this, so I don't know. That makes sense to me. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, it's fishy because of the history between Dazn and White. Like you said, I remember us debating this 2 years ago now. So this is already getting to a point where it seems repetitive in nature, and not only that, but definitely a targeted approach to Dillian White from Dazn reps.
I mean, I don't think they have a thing against him. I just
Well,
think.
what do you think it is?
I think they're you know, his
weird.
fights are not appealing to America. Maurice Vach,
I don't see that at all.
brother. When's the last time you seen Maurice Vach on U.S. television?
I'm just saying that Dillian White is I think, one of the most appealing UK fighters for Americans, for everyone. So I just don't see how you could say that. I don't think it's that. That's why it's so weird to me.
It's the opponents. It's the opponents. That's why we need to figure out for sure, where did the Rivas fight land. But again, Rivas was fairly unknown. His biggest win was Brian Jennings at the time, and we all know Luis Ortiz had beat him maybe 10 years before. So
yeah, but he was the underdog in that fight.
Who, Rivas?
Yes, because remember, was trying to rebuild Brian Jennings.
Rightfully
Brian Jennings
so.
Was the A side.
I don't know if Jennings was the A side, but I'm gonna run with that. Listen to me. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna run with that because I know that there was no paper on Rivas, and Rivas after that fight, you know, the rumors about him signing the Top Rank, and eventually, I think he went to Top Rank, or did he go to DAZN? Where'd he go? He went to Top Rank.
Top Rank.
Yeah. I think he said he went to Top Rank because he knew that Dillian White wouldn't give him the rematch. So I think that they had options on him at the very least after the Jennings fight, but let him go do his thing with Dillian. But again, Rivas was unknown, a Canadian, Colombian, right? So it's like, I mean, it's hard, bro. It's hard to put people on TV that are not bringing that money back. You know what I mean? In terms of subscribers or viewers, it's just, how do you waste that airtime when you can go with something that's secure?
I agree if that's what the case was. I don't know that's what the case was with his fights. I'm not, I don't know that he wasn't getting, pumping subs or playbacks or whatever they count, I don't know that for a fact.
But bro, listen,
all I know is that his style and his ability to create drama in the ring is, a 9.5, and whether he's the best heavyweight or not, he's one of the most potentially exciting heavyweights every time he steps in the ring.
Champ, it almost feels like you do anything in your power to give the UK some sort of credit. All I'm asking you,
what are you talking about?
All I'm asking you is to tell me what fight has been on U.S. television. If he saw, listen, Matchroom has shares in DAZN. DAZN has shares in Matchroom. Let's make that clear. Matchroom is invested in Eddie. Matchroom is invested in Dillian. They've been airing, I don't know, his last 4 or 5 fights have been pay-per-view. Let's, for argument's sake, let's say his last 3 have been pay-per-view on Matchroom. If Eddie is so invested in Dillian White, which he clearly is, he stood by him when he turned his back on Big Baby, right? Obviously, 2 different situations. One completely tested positive. The other, a bit of a scandal, but eventually cleared his name. But he's invested in Dillian White. Why aren't his fights on U.S. television? Why isn't he building his profile in America? Like some of these other fighters. I don't know. Just asking the obvious question.
I think you're right. Part of it comes down to opponent. I think he's also had a bit of bad luck where there probably would have been roadways to getting there. And then here comes a roadblock that kind of stifles that. And then he's got to, start it all over. So some of it's bad luck and some of it's exactly what you're saying, opponent. But I don't know if I had stock invested in Dillian White, I would be very happy right now. No matter where it's at, I know it's only going to go higher in the next 3 years. And so we'll see. Like I said, I think he can beat one of the 3 best or one of the top 3 heavyweights, Wilder, Joshua, Fury. I could see him beating one of those guys, maybe 2. And so, at the end of the day, I think that when you look at the potential for matchups with him, there'd be no reason why an American network wouldn't be dying to have him, because the American heavyweight landscape is a stock all by itself. You see,
Mario's stuck in delusion.
Why?
Why? Because my man came over here selling himself not too many months ago. Okay? He came over here selling himself, trying to make Eddie sweat, and Eddie chilled out on interviews like, if Dillian wants to go, let him go. I've turned him into a pay-per-view star. I've made him a lot of money, you know?
Yo, but that happens between them every, what,
Oh,
6
no, it
months?
doesn't. I've never seen him in a Showtime office or in a Showtime event. I've never seen him talking to Espinoza like we did, and we never seen him talking to Top Rank. And you telling me that two of the other side of the biggest, you know, other fractions in boxing, right? We got Golden Boy, PBC, and we got Top Rank and Eddie, right? With Matchroom and whatever, DAZN. You gonna tell me that he went to go see the other two and nobody was interested?
No. I said the opposite of that.
I know. I'm telling you that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's what
he
you're saying.
went to America to sell himself. What?
Yes.
The offers weren't good enough?
I don't know what happened, but we all know they took meetings.
I'll tell you what
They were
happened.
interested enough to see him.
I'll tell you
right?
what happened. He didn't get
could've
no
pri-
U.S. television. That's what happened.
And he priced himself out, or
I mean, look, Showtime offered him some TV rights. He didn't take it.
they were always not really.
And that's the
great with him
thing,
either,
though. That's the thing. Showtime offered him. He had to go do that, not his quote unquote promoter Eddie. He just was upset at Eddie because Eddie's saying, "Oh shit, Fury won. Let's go straight into unification." He's like, "Bruh, what about me?" All on social media. So, you know, while people think they're chummy, he ain't too happy.
All right.
I mean, I don't want to see you calling the competition talking about, yo, what y'all trying to do? Y'all need a hook. I'm like, you must not be happy if you flirting with my comp.
I agree.
You entertaining
I agree,
offers?
absolutely.
You entertaining offers? Then you come sit next to me in the interview and say, "Oh, I was just pulling your leg. I got to make Eddie sweat." Nah, bruh. You trying to see who got the biggest pockets and who's gonna offer you the most. As if Showtime would have offered you more or Top Rank would have offered you more. You was really gonna say, "Oh, loyalty to Eddie, who you don't even got a paper contract with, fight by fight." Remember all the details that we learned. Let's stop being foolish here. White needs to get upset. DAZN hasn't been backing him the way they've been backing every other fucking fighter. Nikita Abba from Brooklyn, maybe that's it. Maybe they only looking for American fighters to air on TV. You know, I don't know. But Nikita Abba and Rashad Mati get more air on DAZN than White. You know, someone send me a link to White's fight. That's all I'm saying. On DAZN.
With that watermark on there, yeah. I don't know. You make a lot of sense. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is really weird. And I remember hearing you on a show talk about it and agreeing with a lot of the points that you made. But I don't know. I just look. Okay, I'll put it this way. If you are right, I'm just gonna say if, because I obviously don't know and honestly don't think you are. But if you are right, all I'm gonna say is that they're all going to regret it. Whoever ends up landing this kid, you know, they're sitting on some Apple stock while they're still fucking around in the garage with the Great Waz. Okay, it's one of those things where this guy is a commodity right now. He should be a bigger star, and again, it comes down to bad luck. It comes down to, you know, maybe the path he's chosen a little bit, but ultimately, I know this guy's going to rise. And so everybody that passed on him, they'll regret it. But I just don't think it boils down to as simple as you're saying it does.
Well, we're getting away from it anyway. I just think that it was strange that it took Serrano and Katie Taylor to get added to this card for DAZN to put out their social media posts about airing this fight. That's all. But this is a Lou DiBella and Matchroom co-promotion. I'm really psyched for the fight though, because Serrano talks a good game, and that's kind of why I wanted to get Shields on, because I feel like Shields does too, and she would have gave us a nice headline for Serrano to bite about never being able to be pound for pound with this win. You know, now I don't have the right to say that. This would have been Claressa's argument, and maybe the HH Diva, a.k.a. Franchon Crews Dazn, feels that way as well, because she knows Claressa and she knows her achievements. But Serrano's also been a champion for quite a long time, and an established, dominating champion, and showing power. Out of most women, she's showing the most power. I think her percentage in knockouts probably the highest for most active women in boxing. So I want to see what she does to Katie Taylor, because Katie, I believe, is there to be hit and has been hit in numerous fights before. So I want to see the skill of Serrano. Off-topic question. I mean, off-topic, on-topic, right? Like, do you think Serrano wears regular Jordans again into the ring, like on the elite level? Because she fought Heather Hardy and Michael Jordans, bro. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. I really do. But I hope not. But I'll say this.
Those
though,
shoes
like,
gotta be heavy. Come on, compared to boxing shoes,
I
like
know,
she
I know.
wild.
Hell yeah. I couldn't even imagine it. Yeah, look, going back to what you were saying about, whether or not it makes them number one. Look, I don't know. I have Claressa at number one. I have her definitively at number one based on a few things, really. The eye test is a big one and probably the most illegitimate one for me. And then probably the biggest thing is a lack of knowledge of the women's division, and in terms of history, in terms of lineage, I guess, a little bit, and also in terms of the fact that, like, I only recently started really paying attention to women's boxing again in 2012, 2013. So and it's not like, I caught every single fight that mattered, and so it could be my lack of knowledge of women's boxing.
We got to give the credit to
Claressa.
Claressa.
Yeah,
because I don't think I was watching women's boxing before her. Like, I know Serrano was out there, but she wasn't getting TV.
That's a great point.
She wasn't getting TV. Serrano was not getting TV. She's been with Lou DiBella all her life. Claressa changed women's boxing.
She did, or she's changing it now. It's being changed as we speak, and it's large in part to her. And so, like, a lot of my answer is based on the fact that I don't even see how you could compare the winner of this fight to Claressa. But at the same time, I mean, what this fight means to me specifically is important. So to the people that have closely followed women's boxing for decades and decades and have been saying, listen, we need to give them a chance. And, I hopped on that train really late. And I know so many guys from Twitter that have been talking about women's boxing for so long. I mean, way before I even heard of Katie Taylor. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I think that this is a really important fight. And so just because it might not make that person number one, shouldn't take away from what this fight really means. But either way, regardless, Claressa's, she'd have won.
I mean, look, it just got announced. Is it too soon to say it's not getting the hype of Claressa versus Christina Hammer?
Oh yeah, way too soon.
Why?
Let's let it breathe.
But we wanted that fight before it happened. Hammer was jumping in the ring. Claressa was saying she was gonna beat her. Like, that's what I'm saying. Is DAZN dropping the ball? Did Eddie let this fight marinate too much, or did they not keep it in fight fans' eyes? Kind of the way that Christina Hammer and Claressa Shields were able to do. I'm going to, again, give a lot of credit to Claressa because she's very outspoken. She would be, very aggressive in talking to Christina Hammer or about Christina Hammer, where these two women, we just don't really see them talk unless asked about each other. I mean, Katie Taylor's personality, forget about it. It's like pulling teeth to do an interview. She's super soft-spoken. She's like Mark Breland's long-lost sister. She's like, hi, I'm from Ireland. And they're like, whoa, how are you a fighter? And you like, she's quiet as a church mouse. But Serrano, on the other hand, has some moxie, but I haven't been seeing it the way that Claressa and Christina Hammer were pushing their fight. Christina Hammer was this very proud and confident champion. Beautiful woman who didn't have an issue with showing and expressing her beauty and fashion. She was really pushing herself on Claressa. Not only that, because every time Claressa fought, she was there. She would step into the ring. She would parade her belts. We're seeing none of this with these two women. So, I jumped on it to remind us that this is a high-level fight, that this is undisputed, and it should have that hype. But yeah, we got about 2 minutes before we get our first guest, Raul Chino. Why I keep fucking that up? Raul Chino Rivas, trainer of Tevin Farmer, Victor Padilla. Who else he got? He got Stevie Ortiz, who's going to be taking on Damon Allen Jr. on March 27 on Impact Network. Don't forget, download the app if you don't have Impact Network. And if you got basic cable, if you already got ESPN, well, you got Impact on your cable provider. Look for it, Google it, or just talk straight into the remote like me, and you should be able to have the service located for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Where is Naja from the UK? You better call in. Where all my females at? Always hitting me up. You don't talk enough women's boxing. Yeah, and now I only got 200 people watching and 63 thumbs up because I'm talking women's boxing. What's wrong with y'all fake boxing? This is what I'm saying. You boxing fans so fucking fickle. So fickle. Undisputed match for all the belts, all the marbles, and you guys are not clamoring. Like, where's the demand? Where's the push? Serrano has been saying that Taylor's been ducking her, basically. That they don't want to make this fight. That they were dragging their feet. And now we got it, and you guys acting like, nothing. So what? It's a co-main now. Shout out to Claressa Shields. Shout out to Claressa Shields, bro, because she got the network to believe in her, and they made her a main event in a unification. This is undisputed, and it's a co-main with zero promotion. Zero promotion. There should be some hype behind this, for real, man. Definitely should be some hype behind this, but we're going to help them out, without a doubt. We're going to talk about this fight. We're going to break this one down. We're going to predict this one, and we're going to have a good old time with this. Listen, at 10 o'clock, we'll be having Franchon Crews, Dazn, former unified champ. She should be getting her belts back because everything worked out, and it was a positive, test result from Alejandra Jimenez. And we should be getting Raul Chino Rivas right now. And if you want to voice your opinion, you can do so. 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget to add Nestor Gibbs on Skype if you want to be part of the conversation from anywhere in the world and save yourself some money. I think nowadays there is no more paying for minutes, right? Everyone gets unlimited minutes, I think. Yeah. So you should be good either way. We're just waiting for Chino to connect. Again, a lot of fighters that he's training. Jason Sosa. He's now training Christian Cardo coming off that loss. I got to ask, was he with Cardo before the loss? 'Cause I thought Cardo was with his dad. Let me see. Also training a Pakistani guy by Dion Butts. He's also got 4 guys on that Michelle Rosado, Raging Babe, March 27, Steven Ortiz versus Damon Allen Jr. Impact Network Series fight. So he's got some busy hands on that night. Steven Ortiz, Christian Cardos, Diane Butts. He's got a heavyweight too from PR.
He's starting a football team in boxing.
What the names? They sound like
no, because he got so many people, bro.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a lot
man.
Of fighters.
Yeah, he's definitely acquiring some a nice little team. I'm excited,
talented
to hear about the heavyweight. Heavyweights are what's hot right now. Shout out to PBC putting on 4 heavyweights this Saturday. I almost can't wait. They're not the best fights. They're definitely not Dillian White versus Povetkin, but they're solid fights to keep those guys moving up the rankings. So we got our first guest on the line, Raul Chino Rivas, world-renowned trainer Tevin Farmer, now training Christian Cardo, which is going to be half of our time with him talking about that one in a heavyweight. I mean, Steven Ortiz, Thomas Lamana, he's done work with him. Chino, man, good morning. How are you? Thank you for coming on the program. We truly appreciate your time, brother. How's everything going?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. Everything is good. Everything is good. Just busy with, with all the guys. But other than that, everything's great.
So obviously, I follow your star fighter, Tevin Farmer, former IBF champion, on social media. I know he's in good spirits. I know, he's not down at all, and he's definitely getting his strap back, like he told me personally. But how do you see your fighter coming off of this? I want to say his first loss because it's been so freaking long. But like, how are you viewing Tevin right now at the moment off of this loss?
We good. Listen, we good in spirit. One thing that I have with all of my guys, that it's not more like a trainer, to fighter kind of relationship. It's like a father to son relationship. And I know that, my responsibility is huge with all of my kids because, when they have a downfall, they lean on me to pick them back up and keep them strong, which is what I do. So they feed off my energy, which my energy is always positive because I do understand that in the sport of boxing, or better yet, in any sport, and in life in general, there's always ups and downs. And, I come from a upbringing, which it was very difficult in my life, So I have a strong mental, to be able to balance my guys. So he's in great spirit. We know we have a rematch, June or July. We don't know yet exactly. And we just got to go and, and do what we should have done the first time and, bring the title back home and, make him a two-time world champion. So there's no worries. It happens. It happens. God works in mysterious ways, and there's a reason for all. And sometimes we lose focus on the important things, and things like that happen in general. So but we definitely fine. He's in really good spirit, very focused, and he just can't wait to get back to the gym.
All right, before I pass you to my co-host, I'm sorry, Mario. I got to hog him for a little bit because we're short for time with so many questions. Steven Ortiz, main event, first really big television fight. Added pressure. He didn't know it was TV. Now there's TV. Does Steven rise to the occasion in your opinion? And how tough of a fight is this Damon Allen Jr. fight? Do you think that it's getting the attention it deserves?
I definitely. Listen, there's two young prospects, one from North Philly, one from West Philly. Two very talented individuals, good coaching staff from Allen's part, as well as ours. But Stevie loves the limelight. He's awesome under pressure. He loves to perform, and he likes a challenge, which is something that I really admire in Stevie Ortiz as a fighter. A lot of people want to, shy away from those kind of fights. He looks forward for those kinds of fights. He wants the pressure to be on him because he wants to prove, not only to the fans in Philadelphia, but around the world that, he's as talented as anybody out there. So he's ecstatic. He looks amazing. I can't wait to, to get him in the ring because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Chivas? This is Mario Munguia. I have a Tevin Farmer question, but before I go to it, I just real quick want to ask one question about Stevie. I guess last time I've seen him, it looks to me like he's starting to fill out more. What weight do you think he's going to be at in, let's say, like a year and a half? Because he seems kind of like a late bloomer. Like he's starting to develop a little more size and muscle in his back, and he just looks like he's going to outgrow the division at some point.
I will agree with you 100%. He's 5'10", 5'11", for 135 pounds, and he is starting to develop. And all fighters, prime time, they hit their prime when it's between the age of 28 to 32. He's 26, just turned 26. He's still growing. But it's funny you saying that because I'm looking at him yesterday, and he's like, "Pops, can I take off my shirt?" I said, "Of course." So he's doing power, and I'm looking at all the muscles he has in his back, and his structure is just changing. I was like, "Wow, my God, he's getting so thick," So he's gonna be the day of the fight. He's gonna be every bit about 155 pounds. Proves. I hydrate him back. That heavy, and he carries the weight very well. But honestly, I won't be surprised if Stevie ends up at a welterweight division. He has extremely, extremely awesome height for it. Like I said, 5'10", 5'11". So I think he will end up his career at welterweight, to answer your question.
So I gotta ask, man, a guy that's rehydrating to junior middleweight and fighting at 135. Isn't this fight at 135?
Yes.
And he went down twice his last fight. Now, he won it, and I had him on the show about a few days ago, and I told him how impressed I was that he could go down twice and still get a decision points win where Wilder got 2 knockdowns and got a draw, and people thought he lost. So that shows Steven's skill, but does it also show that he might be lacking a chin? And this is a question.
No, it's not a question. Let me tell you something. This is a true story, and I'm pretty sure none of you know this. The kid that dropped Stevie, his name is Alejandro Salinas. I have him with me now. I fell in love with the kid when I saw him with Stevie. The father reached out to me, and I have this kid in my camp right now, which he works with Stevie now. And this kid, just remember that name, Alejandro Salinas, at 126, because he's a 26-pounder, which is that impressive. But the power that this young man has is beyond anybody's understanding. And I see it at display at the gym. A good example. I'm not going to give names. I took him to North Jersey, okay? And they were supposed to have a 135-pounder for him. The guy didn't show up. They had a guy that weighed 155 pounds. So they asked me, look, if you want, we could work. And so I was like, of course, let's work. I was like, can I get at least 6 rounds? This is a true story. This happened 2 weeks ago. And by the second round, they stopped the sparring. And this guy is a really good fighter at 152 pounds. As an amateur with a lot of experience. He was every bit of 155, 157. And you know what? He couldn't with this kid. And this kid walks with 135 pounds, 138. So this kid's very special. So just remember that name, Alejandro Salinas. To answer your question, Stevie could take a hell of a shot. He sparred Sosa, Jason Sosa, who we all know he's a banger. You know, he spars a lot of elite fighters. The only thing that this kid individual got, is just a special power this kid has. And he caught Stevie with 2 really good shots. And, I'm not going to take credit away from the kid. Now, in Stevie's behalf, he showed grit. He showed the heart of a champion. He was, especially, let me tell you something. I believe that knockdown, the second knockdown, in any other state, they would have stopped the fight. That's how bad it was. Because he locked completely. But he showed grit. Listen, I'm tough. I'm from the hood. I'm going to get up. This is my hood. And I'm going to fight. And I think the referee that made a good decision by not stopping the fight, because then Stevie dominated, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th round, and that's why he got the decision. But other than that, I would not question Stevie Ortiz's chin. He could take a hell of a shot. He just got caught with a good banger who has 10 fight at that particular time with 2 losses and 9 by knockout. The record speaks for itself, and believe me, the power what the record shows is who that kid is. At 126 pounds, I can't wait I'm going to have a lot of fun with this kid. And he's only 24 years old as well. But it was just a great experience for Stevie. He got up twice, and he got the victory. Mentally, as a fighter, that builds you confidence, understanding that if you go down, I could get back up and win. So it was an awesome experience for him. And I'm okay with the fact that he experienced that so early in his career before that situation could happen at a world title fight, and he could panic. Well, now he knows he doesn't have to panic. He experienced something that at the end of the day, he knows how to come over adversity. So it was a plus for him.
So I got to ask, man, how excited, anxious, I don't know, what feelings are you feeling? What emotions are going through your body having to face another world-renowned trainer, a guy that gets a lot of publicity? He's doing commentating now on Top Rank. He's acquired a big stable like yourself. He has a couple of champions in Jamel Herring and Terrence Crawford, and now his 175-pounder or 68-pounder Steven Nelson is starting to get some traction. What's it like facing Brian McIntyre, a.k.a. Bomac, across the ring? Because he is the trainer of Damon Allen Jr.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm glad you asked me that question, because it's something that I have always wanted to do in my life as a trainer. I don't want to create the dream of a trainer is to create world champions. So I did 3. Stevie, the state champion. Anthony Young, WBC silver. These are good attributes to me. But my goal is always to be in face of the Robert Garcia, the Bowes, the Albert Sanchez, Joel Diaz. That's my challenge as a trainer because now I know that I'm facing another world class trainer right across, the opposite side where I'm at. So what I mean by that is that let's see who has a better game plan. Let's see who could build his fighter at that particular day. Who's going to be the better fighter? Being the better fighter means that you're the better coach. So if Allen beats Stevie, that means not only Allen's the better fighter, but I got a coach. Just like anything else, the Bill Belichick, he's a legend. Why? Because he doesn't let nobody out coach him. It's really the time that it happens, but that's what all coaches in the NFL look. They don't look to be New England and Tom Brady. No, they look to be Belichick because he's a genius. So for me, that's my approach. I want to fight big fights. I want the coaches with big names because that is what separates the good, an average coach from a coach that speaks for himself with what he's doing with his young talent as he's building, and you get a lot of recognition. So for me, actually, it's a challenge, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait to be in the opposite and shake his hand, and tell him let the best man win. I wish you the best, all in sports and love, with respect to each other, and the winner, gets the bragging rights. So I get to say, not only I have the better fighter, but I be a trainer that right now has pound for pound the best fighter in the world. So, it's credit to myself of, what I do as a trainer as well. So I'm excited.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I didn't get to ask Coach. I didn't get to ask my Tevin Farmer question. I want to go back to it real quick. We all know that, obviously the mission, the goal is the get back with Diaz. We all know that Diaz had the cut and so things are going to have to kind of play out as they will. How long will y'all wait before you would take on an interim match or a stay busy fight? Like how long would you give it before you kind of not pass on it, but make sure that you're doing, what's in Farmer's best interest, you know what I mean? And staying busy.
Well, right now it's very simple. The rematch is supposed to be in June or July, and if something happens that Jojo Diaz, is not going to be able to be available at that time. So and then, I call Lou and we speak and, we find, a tune-up fight just to stay busy, just like you said. To get it to stay in tech with the timing, and et cetera and et cetera. But I think that the fight will happen. He had a bad cut. I think it only takes maybe 3 months by then. So I think in June or July, I think we should be ready. And Tevin doesn't want no other fight, honestly. There were some obstacles there that at the end of the day, we know what needs to be done and readjust, for the rematch. So, he made it clear that he's not interested in fighting nobody else. He wants his rematch because he wants his belt back.
Well, if I'm a good journalist, I would ask you what those things were. But if I've been doing this for more than a year, I know you're not going to tell me.
No,
so
I gotta ask. Because Tevin was very confident. People are holding him to his word. He said, "Take a screenshot of this tweet. I'm gonna whoop JoJo's at," and it didn't happen. So. And he didn't look like himself. Like, I'm not here to dog on Tevin. He did not look like himself. He was taking shots that he normally doesn't take. What the hell happened?
I'm not going to give you the answer. Listen, it happens. It's boxing. You know what?
Did he go in a sauna before the fight or something? Was he struggling to make weight? He looked zapped. He looked like he didn't have all that energy.
All I would say in Tevin's behalf is very simple. And the rematch, the Tevin that everyone expected to see that day, well, they will see Tevin and the rematch. That is all I have to say. I'm not going to go into details. I will not violate my trust with my fighters. Things that are not meant to be spoken should not be spoken. I'm from the streets, and I honor that to the end of the day with all of my guys. So that's just the way that it will be. Not only with Tevin Farmer, it could be one of my prospects. You don't want me to talk about something on social media, in an interview, it will never be discussed. I will never violate because my relationship with my guys is not only through boxing. After they're done boxing, we will have a lifetime relationship for the rest of my life. So that I will protect that with my life forever.
Now,
so, I said,
listen,
the rematch will be fine.
But the truth is, African-American fighters, the slick black fighter always has trouble with the Mexican pressure fighter. So was it something in camp or was it just the style, the aggression, the nonstop punching?
It has nothing to do with that because the same way Jojo Diaz fought. As a matter of fact, better yet, John O'Carroll fought more aggressive than Jojo Diaz. I'll leave it at that.
But John O'Carroll's no Olympian. He's no Jojo Diaz. Obviously, Jojo Diaz is a world champion, so we can't compare him.
I mean, listen, the Olympics. Don't bring the Olympics because I'm not a really big fan. I have seen some Olympics that turn out to be what they are, and I've seen some Olympics that sometimes I look at them and I'm like, is that guy an Olympic? Are you serious? So that really doesn't say much. But you know what? Because he went to the Olympic and he got eliminated. Now let's talk about Shakur, who went to the Olympic and won silver medalist, which in my opinion he should have won the gold medal, but he won a silver. Now, what Jojo? He went to the Olympics. Okay, he got eliminated. What's the big deal? He lost in the first round. They made the Olympics. That doesn't say much. You know what that says? That he's an amateur fighter who fought through the process of elimination, and that particular time, he beat whoever he had to beat to make the Olympics. That's what, now, win 2 or 3 fights in the Olympic against, Cuba, Russia, Italy, Brazil, win some fights, and then get eliminated in the quarterfinals, and that's, you know what? That's a good fighter. Okay, but you lost in the first round. That doesn't say much to me. You know what I mean? So, if that's the case, okay, good. Let's go to the Olympics. No, let's go to the Olympics. I'm going to make my statement very clear with this. Rashid Warren. How many Olympics he made for the United States? 3. Did he ever win? In the first round, he got eliminated. In the pro level, what is he? Is he anybody?
I mean, he was he was a world champion, though.
Yeah,
damn,
he's
Chino.
a world champion. I know.
Come on, my dude. Let's be honest. Do anybody speak about Rashid? Nobody speaks about him.
Nah.
Thank you.
I mean, he's
that's
not.
my point.
Yeah, but that's a different question. You asking, is he popular?
No, I'm just saying he's an Olympic fighter. Nobody ever gave him the credit that he deserved. So therefore, he's the only amateur fighter in the United States to make it to 3 Olympics. He got eliminated in the first round. So what it says about him? The first time, okay, fine, but the second time, you got the experience. The third time, you can pass first round. That means nothing to me at all. I'm sorry.
Well, Chino.
Damn, yo, listen.
You got something? Go.
No, real quick. I was just gonna say that's why I didn't ask the question because I knew what the answer was gonna be. I'm just gonna say this: the first time I saw that fight, I honestly did think it was a style problem because Tevin just looked so gun shy. But more and more I watched it, he physically looked drained in that fight. Like he did not look the same. His face, his characteristics. So I don't know. You don't have to give.
He kept flicking the eye. He kept flicking the eye. Everybody's like, "Yo, why was he flickering his eye?" People thought there was something wrong.
That's okay, buddy. Listen, all I would tell you is this: the rematch, y'all will see the Tevin Farmer that everyone in the whole world used to see. Okay, and then after we get the IBF, you want to ask personally, you want to ask Tevin Farmer what happened in the first camp, then you're entitled to do that and let it come out of his mouth, not my mouth. Fair enough?
Got it.
For sure, fair enough.
Sir.
So, Chino,
Yes,
before
sir.
we let you
Fair
go,
enough.
we got a couple more minutes. I do want to ask, man, is there added motivation? You've already said that this is a competition for you. You want to do good. You want to beat Bo McIntyre. Is there added motivation now that the fight's landed on television? And it seems like this card is getting a lot of publicity. What do you feel about the promotion, going from a club show to all of a sudden a television kind of showbox Friday Night Fights level now?
Well, you got to understand something that a lot of people don't really give credit and acknowledge. Michelle is like an incredible person how to advertise and promote shows. I don't know, because she's a female, they don't want to acknowledge, but credit needs to be given what credit's due. And she's just incredible. Forget about this show. Let's do other shows that Russell Peltz or any other show that she's involved. Look how she helps the shows to get promoted, period. Whether it was Top Rank she was a part of, whether, I don't care what promotion. It could be anybody. She's an incredible individual, awesome human being, and she does a job perfection. So bringing her, getting her hustle to bring TV, of course, it's just more exciting, not only, for the fighters. Forget about me, the fighters. Now that, it's like, okay, let's go to Christian Carter, which we haven't not spoke yet. It's one of my biggest excitement at this particular time, because I know what Stevie's going to do. So I have no worries. I'm like, I feel so very confident in my Stevie because of where we are in camp today. And to tell you the truth, no disrespect to anybody. I'm not down on anybody. I believe, just I'm pretty sure like McIntyre believes, I believe I got the better fighter. So I'm going to rock with that. So I'm very comfortable with that. But this kid that just came into my life, I know him since he was like 15, 16, and finally I had the pleasure and the privilege to be able to work with him. So it's a lot of pressure because he comes from a loss. which it was very difficult in a lot of people's eyes. He has a huge following base. They're all going to be there. So, I think maybe 75% of the fan base is going to be there to see Christian Cotto. So it's a big responsibility because I got to, show not only his fans, but show the world that at the end of the day, this kid's the real deal at 119 pounds. So that is more pressure to me, believe it or not, than Steve and Alan. Yeah, I mean, that's speaking, real to you from the bottom of my heart, because I feel that, that's a huge responsibility, so they trust me with this individual, So I got to make sure that I do my job, just like I have done with everybody else. Stevie been with me since the age of 17. He's 25 years old, so I know what I have. I got Deion Buzz. He has another tough fight. That's another good tough fight for me because the guy that we're fighting is trained by Bozy, and we know Bozy is an incredible trainer. That's the father of
Jaron Ennis.
I mean, so Jaron, exactly. So that's another. We talk about whatever the name coach of Crossfire. I forget his name. I apologize.
Brian Bo McIntyre.
We talk about Bozy. McIntyre. Bozy, that's a tough fight that I have with a prospect that's undefeated with a fighter who has a few losses. But his life, his career has been, changed because Bozy in his life. And I know the impact when you have a good trainer because it happened with me with Tevin. When I took Tevin had 4 losses. And almost 8 years, we were undefeated. I mean, we won how many fights in 7 years and a half? I think it was 31. So he was 7-4. So we won 27 fights. Until we lost to JoJo. So I know that that's a big challenge for me as well because Bozy is an incredible trainer who I have a lot of respect for. And then I got my heavyweight. 8-0, 7 knockout versus a Mexican fight. We already know how they are. They tough. They come. They go. They come. He's 8-0, 5 by knockout. Then I have my Brazilian. Isaac Rodriguez, who I had him. Many years ago. There was a problem with promotion. They sent him back to Brazil, and he had a few losses. Not with me. In my eyes, when I had him, he was 17-0, 14 by knockout. So. He's still undefeated with me, so now he's 25-3 with 20 knockout. He's fighting Ice Cole, who's a very aggressive fighter who I know personally myself. He's an acquaintance that we see each other. Chino, how you doing? How's everything? How's your career? Papito, keep doing what you're doing. There's a lot of respect in between the coaching staff as well as me from Philadelphia. So I mean that show's gonna be amazing. But I don't think there's a lot of pressure when it comes out to Stevie. Because it's TV. I think that the more pressure for me is when it comes down to Christian Cotto. That fight for me means a lot. I got to make sure that he performs to the best of my ability.
I mean, but how hard is it going to be for you? Like, look, it's not like I wasn't going to ask you about Cotto knowing that you are recently the newest trainer for him. I was live at his last fight when he did suffer that first loss in knockout. But usually a promoter, and you spoke so highly of Michelle, she's going to match him properly. She's going to make sure that he gets the tune-up that he deserves. So I don't know that the pressure is going to be there for this fight for you from the Cotto fans and critics just yet. Maybe once you get him back in the winning, column and he starts taking on some people, then they'll be looking to see, what have you changed. But this is his first bounce back off a knockout loss. Like, I'm not expecting this guy to be too tough.
Well, the reason why it's a lot of pressure, you already know that he comes from a bad loss. The guy that we're fighting, he's not a walk in the park. He's only been stopped one in his whole career, and I think he has like almost 40 fights. He's Mexican, and they keep coming. Very aggressive. So this is boxing, and you and I know, and the whole world, the one punch just changes everything. So we got to be careful. So at the end of the day, that fight for me is the most. So you're right. When I get that W, God willing, and then I put him back in the winning column, then the pressure's off. But as for now, that's the fight that causes me a lot of pressure. I speak from the bottom of my heart.
No problem. Listen,
Listen, Stevie, it's no pressure for me at all. I'm just excited for Stevie because I know how he's going to perform and what we're going to do. You know what I mean? My heavyweight, awesome, very strong fighter, in good shape. It's his first 8-rounder. My Deion Buzz, my Pakistan kid is 5-0. You know what? He's fun to watch, very aggressive. And Isaac is, he's another banger. You're going to really enjoy that fight. Those two going to bang because Ice Cold is a banger. Isaac is a banger. And it's going to be, that could be the best fight of the day. Isaac Rodriguez and Ice Cold. Remember I told you that. It's a shame it's only 6 rounds. I wish that fight was maybe 8 rounds. That fight itself is going to demand a lot of attention because you're going to see two strong individuals at the middle of the ring fighting. That's a fun one.
So I wanted to ask you, obviously, you being Puerto Riqueño, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor have just made their fight official. It's going to happen May 2nd in Manchester Arena in London. It'll be on the Alexander Pavek and Dillian White undercard. What's your thought of this undisputed match? And do you think that if the winner of that, do they trump Claressa Shields as pound-for-pound women's boxer, or they still got more to do?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because I like my Boricua. Yeah, I mean, and not because she's Puerto Rican. I just love it. She's very technical, sound, and awesome. Rhythmship and et cetera and et cetera. But I also do believe that she's been really, really busy a lot. Also, I just think that that's a 50-50 fight for me. But Claressa Shields, I mean, you have to, in my opinion. I think she's just a king, and period, in women's boxing right now. She's special. I know since she was 16 years old. The amateurs and the pals, and I just think that she's, like you get the Machenkos, once every 10 years you get the superstars, and then now we got the, we got the beast, Shakur, who's the future, and that's what I think she is. I mean, she's just a special specimen when it comes down to women boxing. So we've just been blessed to see such a beautiful individual like her in the ring, especially being female.
Do you think that the time change is going to affect her? It's like a 4 to 5 hour difference in London, or she's been boxing long enough that they'll get out there soon enough and get acclimated.
Well, I think that the smart thing to do, I know Jonathan. if it was me, I'm there a month before the fight because the time difference plays a huge part. You can't go, when I went to France, with Jason, when we fought Smith, I left 10 days, and it still affected him a little. And I was there 10 days. And he was a little bit off, just a little bit, not much, So I learned through him that the next time I was like, what, I do 3 weeks to a month. Practically, if I got to live there for a month, that's what I would do because it's just huge. That time difference that plays a big part. So I'm hoping that, Jonathan leaves at least 3 weeks before the fight. But she is a veteran, and she knows how to adapt to all these things. But the body could react as strong as the mind wanted to react, and that's the beauty of boxing. That's why when they say it's 90% as mental, they're 100% correct. If her mind's going to be where it needs to be, well, the body's going to react. But if the mind is weak and negative because of time difference, the body's not going to react.
Well, Chino, man, I want to thank you, obviously, for your time, and I want to give you the opportunity to give out your social media for anybody that are not following. You can do so. Once again, good luck on March 27th, and with all your future endeavors. We always appreciate your time. Thank you for always being a friend of the show, and can't wait to get you back on.
Well, thank you for having me. I look forward March 27th. It's going to be a really good undercard. For those that want to follow me, want to stay in touch with me, at Instagram is Coach Chino 333. It's about the only social media that I have, and I want to thank all the supporters that not only support but support my whole team, and show us love through the good and bad. We take it all. Thank you guys. I really appreciate for having me. It means a lot to me.
Chino, man, thank you so much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. World-renowned trainer Raul Chino Rivas. Man, we didn't get too much information on the heavyweight due to time. We have Franchon Crews, Dazn, former WBC and WBO champion. She should be getting those belts back, and she is ready. Yeah, Mario, thanks for the dead air. I'm texting her the studio number. Nah, I know. There's no way you could have known that. I'm just texting her the studio number, so I have her just call straight in.
Yeah, I got you. Listen, I don't know what that reason could be with Tevin Farmer. He definitely teased us with that, and I was hoping that, where you were going, where I was trying to take it, would kind of at least give us whether it was. At least you got him to say that it wasn't like a style thing. But I think your first theory is more along the lines of what happened, because I've watched that fight probably like 3 times, probably like 3 times from beginning to end. And man, Tevin it was so surprising on fight night. I had people over and I was talking up Tevin, how good he has gotten and how much better he is, and just how he's turned himself into a world champion.
All right,
He didn't
champ.
look like one, though.
Let me go ahead and connect us with Franchon Crews, Dazn, former WBC and WBO champion, but I'm assuming she's going to be getting these belts back after the ongoing investigation with Alejandra Jimenez. Ms. Dazn, good morning. Thank you for coming on the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. And still.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, we talked to you before, and it's crazy the way things worked out because I questioned. I said, "Listen, are they doing testing? Did you see the way she looked?" And unfortunately, those things happen. We are going to get to that, unless you don't want to talk about it for whatever legal reasons. I did have you on the program because I know that you faced Claressa Shields in your pro debut. You're obviously in women's boxing. You were and still are a champion. And I wanted to ask about this undisputed match between Taylor and Amanda Serrano. And did you think, because they're billing it as that, like that the winner of this can possibly be number one pound for pound. Do they trump Claressa, or is that not feasible at the moment with just this one fight?
I think the more the merrier. The things, if you're looking at the full body of work from amateurs to pro, Claressa trumps all of them. Katie, she's my OG. Like, I used to look up to her when I first started boxing. She's been at it for a very long time and truly a boxing icon. And Amanda Serrano, like, in the pros, she, you know what I mean? She's been putting her thing down and really earned my respect. It's a real big fight. And the great part about this, both of them can fight. And I don't think it's going to be one-sided. Now, as far as the pound-for-pound title, I don't know. I will feel some type of way just saying, yeah, they'll trump Claressa, but it's going to be up there. We need fights like this to continue to push women's boxing.
I don't know. As a female in boxing, do you feel saddened for Amanda Serrano? Because she's kind of like a vet in women's boxing. We were discussing a little earlier how, it was your fight and Claressa's fight to really, put boxing back on television. But Serrano's been there not getting that TV time, and now she has to travel as a champion to the, other champion who just kind of started. Katie's new, and like she's got to travel to her backyard. Is that just part of the game, or do you feel for her?
Well, like I said, Katie, we want to go about a professional thing, but Katie kind of has that card like Claressa has because she is an Olympic gold medalist, and she can't, she was an Olympian, a two-time Olympian, and they need each other. When Amanda Serrano was fighting, she was the dominant one. She was always the big name. I don't know how many other girls you can name in the past that she's fought that still has a career. Like when she fought Heather Hardy, that was a name. And you know what I mean? As a champion, she can declare more, she can negotiate to get more because this will be probably her biggest payday. So you got to put in work to get what you need out of it. I mean, I feel for her, yeah, of course, but you got to go where it's going to make you bigger. You got to look at the positive. She travels overseas because she is a veteran. She's going to be seen by so many more people and get bigger opportunities. Win, lose, or draw, this is definitely going to raise her stock even more.
Hey, Franchon, this is Mario Munguia. So I want to get into your stuff here, and what can you tell us from, a legal standpoint and what they're telling you with your ongoing situation?
Well, I have my attorneys working on it, and I put it out on Instagram on the 21st, right after her second test came back positive. My attorneys reached out to all the organizations, and it's just a waiting game, and it's in their court. I don't know, how much more I can do, but train, and it's just an awkward situation. I've never seen anything like this. I just have to stay ready and hope that the right decision is made. And I'm lost as everyone else.
Got it. And just, I mean, if you can't say, then that's fine. But how confident are your attorneys that things are going to go in your way?
I really can't say at this moment.
No problem.
I really can't say.
How long are you willing to stay out the ring until this gets cleared? I mean, obviously it's worth staying out the ring, but how long do you want to stay out the ring?
Well, I'm a fighter, and the fighter in me, it burns me up, but the businesswoman and just the human in me for integrity reasons, you know, I do what I have to do. I mean, if we got to have a civil rights movement in boxing in 2020, then that's what I have to do. I've always had this type of path. I've always had, you know, a hard way to go. And, like, I retired in 2017 before I became world champion due to politics and bullshit. I don't know. You would think having the A-side promoter, you would think being a respected world champion that it wouldn't come to this, but I don't know. Like, I really have to put it outside of my mind and stay focused on the business that pays me and stay focused on, you know, when things happen, but it's just very unfortunate.
Have Golden Boy and the WBC been supportive? Because you obviously were the WBC champion, and we know Mauricio well. I want to hope that he's reached out and spoke to you personally at least.
No, Golden Boy has offered support, but I haven't heard anything from the WBC at all.
Wait a minute. What do you mean at all? Like, even after the test results?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. They're just, in quote unquote, doing their own investigation, I guess. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Man, that's surprising.
Very, 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 very surprising.
Yeah, and this is
unfortunate. Really is the word. That doesn't even make sense.
I mean, I don't know. I said, you know, I won a Revelation Award in 2018 from the WBC. You know, I've been the convention and shaking hands. I don't know. I would, you know, the human decency, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I met you at the convention, so I know you've been doing the necessary WBC requirements. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah.
I mean, this sucks though for you because it's kind of got your career at a halt. Have you? I mean, legally, there's no time frame that you can give them to make a decision, or are you just at the mercy of the investigation?
I think my lawyers would know more because they sent, you know, documents and everything on it for me to keep myself together and what I need to do. I just focus on being ready and focus on my business outside of the ring. But at the end of the day, I pull my goon card. I don't care if they give the belt to someone else. I mean, I do care, but I know already I'll beat their ass. Like, that's the bad part about it. You can keep it vacant, do whatever you want to do, but whoever gets the belt, you know what I mean?
Nah. Don't even ever repeat that because there's no there's no logic to that. Why would they make your title vacant? But just think about it. Like, why would they say, all right, Franchon, you know, this happened. She tested positive. You have nothing to do with it. But guess what? Your title's vacant. No, I doubt it. It would just be too. It would be too out there. But listen, I'm sorry. Look, no sense in harping over bad news. Talk to us. What are you doing outside the ring? You keep mentioning things that bring in money outside the ring. What's Franchon Crews got going on? I see a lot of modeling for sure on the IG. So is I mean, I'm screen sharing a picture here. # Black Phoenix. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just working. You know, it's always an uphill battle building your brand when you want to be successful. And I have some. April's going to be a wonderful month. I had some new opportunities. They're not, super huge, but for me, it's a milestone. And I got a couple awards. There's some great things coming. You'll see when it unfolds in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So
Well,
I'm just working, still
something you do
designing.
have in the immediate is your husband's fight. He's training, and Dazn Promotions has a fight co-promoted by Watts Promotions. Talk to us about your husband's upcoming fight, and obviously you're in, your promotional fight, I guess.
Yeah, so we always get it the hard way, and my husband, he's coming back. This is his third fight back since he had his shoulder surgery, and the first and second quarter of 2020, we're going to get this fight out the way in May, and then look for some bigger opportunities in the latter part of the year. But I'm very excited. He's been making good progress, and he's an exceptional fighter. Like, he can fight. If you look at, some of his previous fights, like on Showtime and Period. So we just looking forward to making, his presence known and getting those big opportunities.
Now,
I'm just happy that I can make the people around me good.
Absolutely. Now, I wanted to ask, are you working out right now, or is there going to be a point where you start ramping up the training? How long do you think until you start trying to get back in fight shape regardless of a WBC decision?
Oh, I'm upset. I got a chip on my shoulder, so I've been working out.
Good.
I never want to feel like I felt in that fight again. And I'm a big boss bitch, so I'm never going to let nobody feel like they can bully me or do what they want to me. So I'm definitely working out. I'm actually going out to Colorado next week to work with Team USA, which is dope because I'm like one of the pioneers for Olympic boxing for women. And the fact that I could still be a part of that, it feels like a little part of me is going to the Olympics or going for the Olympics again. So, to work with to work with the best athletes in the country at this moment is going to, keep me sharp, keep me focused, and also help Team USA do what they have to do.
Absolutely. And, I just real quick want to tell you that I didn't get to make it to your fight. I live in Texas, but I didn't get to make it to your fight. But my brother, Ryan, such a huge fan of yours and has followed you for a while. He was there. He got to meet you, and he loved it. He said that you were so great to him, and you really made his day. So I just want to let you know that.
Shout out to Ryan, and guess what? You know what? I got some people sending me wigs, so I'm about to stunt on these hoes and get myself together. I'm always working.
He's got them too. So.
That's crazy.
So you can shake me up when I'm in Texas.
All right.
We had Barry on to talk
guys.
about that moment. It was, he's like, man, I had to let her know it's either the belts or the hair. I'm like, wow. But how's training, man?
People ain't people. He told me to get mad after the hair came off. He said, get mad, and I got mad. I was like, hold up. The old Franchon came out. I can guarantee you, if it was 12 rounds, I would have got her out the way, straight up.
That was an amazing fight. The only downfall to what happened is that obviously the negative test result, because it was an amazing fight. And it got properly hyped because we were waiting for it, and then it delivered. Obviously, there's still a lot to, I guess, sort out. But would you ever give her the rematch, kind of like they're giving Big Baby another chance, and you see Alexander Povetkin, who's tested positive multiple times, continues the fight? Will you let her do her walk of shame, build herself back up, and then
No, because it will go to a different level. I'm very professional, but I took this very personal. When I become champion again, if I have to, they're going to pay me a lot of money, because it's a shame, even with cheating and using PEDs, you you barely earned a decision. You didn't earn a decision. You barely, you should feel like ashamed of yourself. But if I have to, I don't know. I might even relinquish the belt. That's how firm I intend to stand. But if I do, I'm gonna get paid for it.
Franchon, let me ask you a question because I read this article the other day. It was on Fight News. No, I can't remember where it was on, but they were talking about legislation and people wanting to bring to the table in Virginia or somewhere else. I don't even remember about prosecuting fighters in combat sports. They were talking specifically MMA, but it would have obviously included boxing. For prosecuting fighters that test positive for PEDs, that they want to take that route because it's gotten rampant and because testing's so expensive that it's just like what they're saying is they should just have a punishment to deter people from doing it. Would you agree with that? Do you think that it should be punishable criminally because it is a combat sport and it's so much different from, something like baseball or I don't know, tennis or something like that? Franchon still there?
Did we lose her?
Don't know.
Let me see here. Caesar, give me a check. Mic check there, Caesar. Maybe we disconnected. Let me reconnect. Hopefully we don't lose it for good. I'm sure they can hear us. That's the sad part. What I hate about that. But yeah, man. Unfortunate with the disconnect because it was a pretty solid interview going on there.
It was. I like her a lot.
Yeah, man. I've been big on her for a while, man. That's why I had got her on when I seen the whole, when I seen her opponent, I'm like, whoa. I put the whole show on. People had no clue. They had no clue, But the fight lived up to everything that we were expecting it would be. It just had some negativity involved.
You're calling back into a live.
Let me see if she's there. Franchon, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm sorry, we disconnected. So Mario was asking if you feel that a fighter testing positive in the ring should be prosecuted by law criminally, like a felony charge.
I truly do. As I was saying, if you've never been through it, it's traumatic. Like, I still have dreams. Like, this is something I've done my whole adult life and half my teenage life. And to know that it's like somebody brought a gun to the ring. Like, this person was preparing to kill me to get a belt or whatever they were trying to do because, I don't know, that's what was in their heart. All I have to say is traumatic, and I feel like it scars you for the rest of your life. And I'm very strong, but that doesn't go away. And I'm just blessed to have my health. Now imagine if I would have been paralyzed or lost my life, And we signed contracts to uphold certain things from our promotional contract. I can't indulge in PEDs from my fight contract. I'm required to follow certain protocols. So why wouldn't it? The law was broken. Something, a rule was broken. And if it will deter other people from using drugs or using PEDs, yeah, I agree with it. Until it happens to you,
Yes.
Do you intend on a civil suit, to try and get some money from her personally?
I can't speak on that.
No problem. So you did speak like that it's been traumatic and you've been having nightmares. How's that been with sparring? Have you sparred yet?
Yeah, I sparred and I was sharp. You gotta understand, when I fight, that's the heavy hitting diva, but I'm also human. That's Franchon Crews, Dazn. And in boxing, you gotta have a strong mental. And I've been doing this my whole adult life and half of my teenage life. So that's second nature to me. Fighting is second nature. And even like this last fight, I had to work under pressure, being hurt. Hair situation, so I have to stay focused, and I know this is my job. This is how I eat. I'm just blessed when I got into the ring. If I would have felt some type of way or been gun shy or like, damn, I ain't getting no punches off, I would be a little discouraged. But I'm sharp. I'm built like that. This fight, even though it was traumatic, it showed me that I'm built like that.
Yo, I want to thank you for being so honest about it, because this is the part that we don't really ever hear about. You know, we read so much about this type of thing happening and testing, and it's just such a hot button issue, and rarely do we hear what the aftermath is like, and the PTSD that I'm sure goes into it, and just all the really awful parts of it. So thank you for being honest and open.
Yeah, man, and thank you. I'm sorry. Go for it.
No, I was just saying thank you for, even asking about it, because like I said, everybody's put so much energy into trying to defend her and do all these things. People forgetting, like, I'm human. Yeah, I'm a diva. Yeah, I'm like that, but I'm human. And if this happened to, say, a Errol Spence or a Lomachenko or something, nobody would hear the end of it. And it's just messed up, and it's holding women's boxing back, and it's just not a good look for boxing, period.
Wait, I'm curious.
Right.
I'm curious now. On your social media, who's defending her? Is it Mexican fans? Or is it fans in general? How are you receiving that information?
No, well, when it first broke, before it even broke, she was defended by the WBC for her looks and people saying rumors,
Definitely. I remember that.
That's what comes with being a public figure. The fact that when the first test comes, it has to be like, everyone's like, wait, we have to wait till the second test. I've been a part of drug testing since I was on Team USA. It's called USADA. It's the United States version of VADA, and it's mandatory. So usually when you get a positive first test, you're going to have a positive second test. But it wasn't like, oh, she got a positive test, she's wrong, she's out of it. It was like, no, guys, just wait. The next one's going to be negative, I promise, It wasn't like, dang, that's messed up. She could have more energy went into trying to prove her to be not a cheater than acknowledging she is a cheater and acknowledging that the champion was done wrong.
I mean,
if that makes sense to you.
No, it totally makes sense, but as a person from the media, I know that that's how it works. Like for Manuel Char, he was ridiculed until his B sample, and that's why people wait for the B sample now, because he's one of the only fighters whose B sample really was clean and the A sample was contaminated. But we always gotta wait. We had to wait for Luis Ortiz too. But we support you, man.
Fine. Like everybody deserves their due process. I have no problem. Like I never, say anything about the appearance. I said I'm gonna just let the process play out. It is what it is. I never stress about those things, But I appreciate you guys supporting me and just supporting boxing. Period.
I was stressing for you. I bet you don't remember that interview. I called you. I'm like, oh my, did you see? And you're like, I know. I'm like, man. I said, I even asked, how many times have they tested her? And you was like, I don't know. They tested me though. And I think you told me 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. Listen, I had the whole audience on point months before, because it was like, wait a minute. But yeah, man. Hopefully things go well.
All I could tell you, I'm not gonna keep you long, but all I can tell you, I know a Mexican fan or Hispanic fan sent me something yesterday of her down in Mexico with the belt on a conference. You know what I mean? I don't know what the nature of the event was with her promoter, but it's like the whole world, the organization can't be wrong, but until people take responsibility for their actions, I guess it won't get solved.
Yeah, I mean, she ain't never giving that belt back. They gonna send you, you got your own. She's got the new belts, and even if, they strip her, like, she's still not gonna stop calling herself a champ. Like, I mean, Lucas Brown had the very same situation. He beat Ruslan Chagayev, and then he got stripped for
Yeah.
testing. And he, I just had him on the show. He still considers himself a champ. And who am I to tell you you're not a champ? You feel me? Like, I gotta let you do
right.
your thing.
Because technically I'm not, I guess.
Exactly, right? And who am I to say you not when you know that you were cheated, basically, I mean, it's got to finish being investigated, but it is what it is. Listen, Franchon, I do appreciate you always taking out the time to come on a Boxing Voice. It was a pleasure
problem.
meeting you in Vegas. Even better seeing you in Mexico. Wish you nothing but the best. HH Diva, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Please give out your social media if anybody crazy enough not to be following you.
It's at the THEHHDIVA, and I'm still hollering, fuck that hair. I want the belts. Thanks, guys.
That's right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
WBC and WBO champion, Franchon Crews. Unfortunate situation, man. That was a fight that listen, bro, I talked about that so much. The minute I seen that picture, I was like, whoa. I am guilty of stereotyping, generalizing, everything, bro. I seen the picture and I was like, nah, y'all, something wrong. Something is wrong. And then I couldn't stop there. After I told the audience, I said, no, I got to interview. I got to find out, like, why isn't anyone saying anything? Why am I the only one that sees this as strange? And, I had even Alejandra on. She's such a beautiful person too, man. It's the whole situation sucks. The whole situation sucks.
I didn't want to tell her. I didn't want to tell her this because I just didn't want to get her down or anything or make her feel bad. But I'll tell you now, my brother, he's such a huge fan of her. He really is. Like, that's no hype or nothing. I mean, he's huge fan of hers. There was this dude behind him at the fights, right? They were sitting like second or third row, and some dude was behind him drunk, double fisting beers the whole night. And the fight comes, and my brother starts talking her up, right? He's like, oh, this is Franchon. Oh, man, she's great, blah, blah, right? I met her yesterday at the weigh-ins. So he bets that dude $50, I think, $100, something like that, yo. And then the news came back. And he came up to me, he goes, bruh, I'm gonna find this guy on Twitter. I want my fucking money back. Like, he goes, I knew she wasn't losing. I knew she wasn't going to.
Bro.
And so
really good fight. Really.
It was a great
good
fight, man. Great
fight. I can't even hate her for not wanting to give her the rematch. You know what I mean?
No, hell no. Hell no, I don't blame her one bit.
But I'll be honest with you, the fight fan in me wants that rematch. I do because she fought Jimenez's fight. Bruh, she got a bum knee. I follow Jimenez. She do not work out without the knee brace. She got a bum knee. She gotta be there. She's a plotter. She's Margarita. You know what I'm saying? She gotta be there. She squares up. So Franchon need to pop the jab. Turn. Easier said than done, but she's got to pivot and stay on that jab.
Definitely. Here's the only two ways that I would be okay with it happening, or I would accept it. Like,
well, I mean, she did leave a little bit of light for us. She said it would have to be a mandatory, and they would have to pay a lot of money.
And that's what I was gonna say. Is if this is her biggest paycheck to date. And if the stringent testing is done, like very stringent testing that, I'm assuming, what's her name would pay for because, I'm sure the bodies would pay for it.
No, after this, there's going to be fucking microscopic testing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And those are the two things that I would need to hear for me to be like, yeah, and get pumped for this fight, like, without any, like, kind of moral questions in my head. But you're absolutely right. Like, just the fight fan in me, fuck, that was a war. And I would love to see it again. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. The only problem is I had a couple of questions with Serrano Taylor that I didn't get to ask, but we had already kind of moved on, but I wish we would have gotten her like breakdown of that fight,
I mean, it felt like she was going Katie, right? They had some sort of bond.
Yeah, they definitely did, but I just would have liked to hear, because right now I got Serrano in my head. I'm not.
No, I think Serrano too. I think
Yeah.
Serrano too. I think if she was picking Katie, I think it was based off love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're gonna go out to these callers. Let's open up these phone lines. Shout out to everyone that's rocking out with us. The true boxing fan. You know what I mean? You guys are the true boxing fans because we're talking women's boxing. And we had a female interview, and you guys are rocking out, man. And you're the true boxing fan. You're not a hardcore. You're the true boxing fan. You know what I mean? Those other guys are freaking suckers. Anyway, did we do sponsors?
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
You know, I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to say that because you're not listening or you're not into women, but you're not a true box fan. Because you know what? Then someone could call me a sucker for not really paying attention to the 102 pounds.
So the flyweights. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't really, you know what I mean? I think Louis Nery's fighting. I don't care. I don't even know who he's fighting. I've never even tried to Google the name. Someone else is small is fighting. Oh, yeah. I just seen some headline. Oh, they're flying a new way in so he doesn't get the coronavirus. I'm like, who cares? You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's not really my
disrespectful.
Thing. Wait a minute.
Yo, Chocolate goes back. The division's on its way. Well, I mean,
what
not that
the fuck? Yo, so Serrano's not the favorite? That's insane. I thought she was the favorite.
I mean,
I just got the betting lines from the guy ducking the show. He doesn't want to be a host. Serrano's a plus 250. Taylor's a minus 333. That's crazy.
Wait, Taylor's a minus 333?
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Bruh, that's a lot.
I don't even know what the hell they seen because I thought the last couple of fights she was like not like I don't know. I know Serrano's moving up, but she also was already at 135, moved down. Like she just does that. I don't know. I guess they see her
in
fin.
no way, shape, or form am I surprised that people would favor Katie Taylor. Not at all. That doesn't surprise me.
Not people betting lines, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I was getting to. I favor Amanda Serrano, but for the betting lines to be so far, I mean, bruh, I'll take a bag on that. Like, yo, you can get a haul for Amanda Serrano right now. You know, look, here's the thing. I bet it changes.
Yo, the chat said Ness. Canna said Ness is the UK. Tell her we're robber. Damn, that's crazy. See, and that's why I asked Franchon. I'm afraid now. Because you going to that backyard. You going to where Derek Chisora got a motherfucking a 9-10 count on Malik Scott. Like, that's just how it works out there, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll get it.
Yo. So my man texted me, said, tell us the undisputed champion. Serrano's fought no one. That's insane. All right, this is gonna be how do you UK chap say it? A humdinger. It's gonna be a humdinger. Let's get out to these callers, man. I'm gonna have to watch this fight. See, I'm not as excited as I was for Franchon.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Gentlemen, I'm just not. You know,
I'm probably a little more excited right now. Yeah, probably a little more excited right now.
Damn.
Just because
they said Katie's already up 3 rounds. Yo, somebody else said the bet makers know all about Matchroom home cooking. Damn, bro. You know, it's sad when that's how boxing is thinking. Yeah. Let's see, man. Who do we got? We going out to Detroit's own Stainless. Good morning.
Motherfuck murder, mayhem, last words of the stainless. Told you I would kill you, squeeze after I aim it. If you're talking money, then you're speaking my language. Or shut the fuck up in grown folks' conversation.
Yo, what up, though?
What up?
Yo, happy Friday, man. We done made it through another week. On to the weekend. Not that means shit for some of us. But, yo, we back, man. TBV, what's good in this bitch?
You already know, man. Talking that undisputed talk.
Chilling.
I know, man. Yo, man, them betting odds, man. That sounds a little shit, man. I don't even know what to say on that shit, man. That's no respect at all, right there. But I guess that just is what it is on that. Shit, it's still a good weekend of boxing, and it's gonna be May 2nd. That's what's up. It's still a good weekend of boxing ahead, man. I'm still looking forward to these fights. So, you know what I'm saying, we'll see what's up on that. That was Cruz Dazn, though. So let me ask, cause I was a little busy rolling up and shit during that interview. They didn't give her belts back, or the WBC is not trying to. I was kind of lost on that.
Still ongoing investigation.
And that's some bullshit, man. If she done failed twice already, man, you know
the way that it works is you request to open the B sample. She did. The B sample gets tested. Yeah, the B sample gets tested. The results are back. Now she knows the results. She's allowed now to dispute her case, right? Like she can build a case now. Like, okay, I tested positive for this. Well, look, it was this, and I presented to you this before the fight. You know, as long as you said it before, is all that matters. But I'm not saying.
Said before?
I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying we still in.
I ain't heard none of that. Ness. And you up to the minute. You the fucking first take of boxing, bruh.
I'm just saying
you ain't saying nothing about it in the last week and a half. So
it's like Franchon said. It's like Franchon said that there's a due process and everyone's entitled to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. We talk about due process, man, but we need to speed up that process. Because you're talking a week and a half. You don't know in a week and a half what might have fucked your shit up when you had 2-3 weeks to figure that shit out. Before that,
now you trying to get a legal team on board.
Man.
You trying to get
if I fail a drug test at the PO, you know what I'm saying? First off, he ain't gonna give me that time. But if I'm talking about all my people was smoking, if I fail for a drug test for a job, I'm gonna know if I was sitting around my people smoking and I wasn't smoking, I got that shit in my system. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to have some kind of reason set in my head. It ain't just going to be some...
Remember, Dillian White was getting the same type of scrutiny. You guys, we all were victim of thinking Dillian White was 100% guilty. And even though the results didn't come as quick as we wanted them, they were not the results that we assumed. So we just have to wait. There's a due process. There's reasons that these people get hearings and meetings and lawyers are involved because, dog, there's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo there. You know what I'm saying? What if there's a loophole? What if there's a loophole? You can't be mad.
She said it best. If this had happened to Lomachenko or Canelo,
absolutely,
this would be so much different.
Absolutely,
the WBC would have been forced to comment on it by now, and essentially give like a pathway to a decision. And in this case, I mean, she's being left in the dark. This is fucking ugly to do to a person in a professional level. In any other situation in America.
Yeah, I'm let down that they haven't contacted her. You know, I should have followed up and said you didn't receive no emails either because like it just seems strange.
She said she hasn't heard a word from them.
That's what she said. Bovada usually CCs the fighters. Like everybody receives the results.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
And so what does that have to do with WBC though?
I mean, she was CC'd in an email with the WBC.
I feel you. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Look, it's investigation. I understand. It's due process.
Nah, it's wrong,
man.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. You know,
I can't believe Mauricio wouldn't call her himself. I feel like,
career.
I feel like, I wish I would just call Mauricio right now. Eddie caught in another lie. Jesus Christ.
Send Suleiman just like a shrugging shoulders emoji and see if he gets it. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, he never does the short notice thing, bro. I swear.
No, but yeah, he does that for everybody though.
Oh, that's what I love about WhatsApp. You get to see the last person dude was active. Like he was just active. Time to send him a good morning. Yo, but let me get out to who's this in the UK? I think this might be Reese. Let me double check it though. We got a lot of callers we gonna get to. Let me see. Yeah, man. I don't know. That don't sit well. Maybe that's not even an interview. Maybe I need to holler at him myself and just see what's the stuff behind that. That doesn't sit well though. Doesn't like. Is this? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, is that? It is. This is Coach Midi. Midi, what up?
Yo,
What's
you
up?
know who it is. I'm good, man.
I always gotta check. Because you guys got like 700 numbers in your phone.
Yeah, that's the work number. That's why. So I guess like you had like Franchon Crews, the Zone Crews on the interview. I missed that, but I like the Serrano Taylor fight, and I'm hoping that Serrano wins, man, because I'm not like the biggest Katie Taylor fan, and I wanted her to do the rematch with Bassoon because I thought she lost that one, and I like Serrano, so but that's a good fight though, so it's gonna be a close fight. I just hope that there's no stupid decision in favor of Taylor if she indeed loses, but I think it's gonna be a close fight though, and it's gonna be a good fight. But yeah, I told you, who I'm rooting for, and I think that was the topic, so that's pretty much all I've got on that topic, man.
Wait, so you rooting for Taylor?
No, Serrano.
Oh, so you think the betting lines are wrong, or you think they're accurate? Whoa, what are you running in the back?
They're accurate, man. The running line, the betting line, because it's going to be difficult to come and get a decision here, and that fight is probably going to a decision, right? So, but I would like Serrano to create the upset, man, because I like her as a fighter, man.
All right, well, Coach Mitty, man, I'm gonna let you get back to your gym work. My man is back there
Coach
in a
Mitty is
windstorm.
right. He is right about why the betting lines could fall the way they'd fall. My only point is I'm picking Amanda Serrano right now, and I said earlier that could change. Like, just off the top of my head right now, Amanda Serrano, but this is the kind of fight. To me, I thought it was 50-50. I was pretty sure everybody thought that way. Or maybe not 50-50, but 60-40 slightly in one person's way or the other. But I think the betting lines will get closer, but I wouldn't even bet 3-1 on Amanda Serrano. Like, that's crazy money. Come on. It's not smart money. I'll put it that way.
I think we might get
something up.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we could get Lou on real quick because, oh my God, I am what? Small world. I was just reaching out to this American heavyweight, and then I get a text that says, "Hey, I heard you was looking for so and so," and I said, "I am," and it's already a publicist I work with. So beautiful, man. I'm telling you, man. Life is good, man. Life is good. Yeah, but I'm trying to see if Lou is still available. I kind of bumped Lou and shit, man. He told me to text this guy anyway. Let me do that. I kind of bumped Lou because the Dazn interview went over, man. We did that twice to Lou, bro. It's just the way fucking shit happened, Lou. No disrespect, champ.
Yeah, they were good interviews, though. And I'm sure Lou understands. He's been at this for a long time. And he's one guy who's never, ever wanted to take time away from a fighter. So, that would be great if we could get him, though. It'd be great if, even if you wanted it later.
Well, I sent the message to his peoples that they should get that to a Caesar Las Vegas. Hold on, Caesar. And you always on speaker anyway. Let me double check. I ain't got no super bangs. I messed that up. Boomerangs, masterminds, ringers. Newest boomerang is intrigued, but he ain't there. Oh, yep, we do got Trey in the Bay. What up?
Can y'all hear me?
Perfectly so far.
Perfect.
Alejandro. Hey, man.
I heard, ain't that a Ricky Martin song? I heard that.
Lady Gaga, man.
Oh, Lady Gaga, that's
man.
right. I did. I knew I heard that before.
Yeah.
Hey man, homeboy. I told y'all homeboy was taking testosterone, dude, and probably some other steroids on top of that shit, man. They better give Franchon her belts back. And Amanda Serrano got to knock that Katie out to get the decision. Hey, and Delphine is another Alejandro too, man. That motherfucker looked like a dude in the face. Am I the only person who's seen that bitch was taking male hormones too?
Who?
That whole look. The Delphine broad, who everybody keeps saying Katie Taylor lost to. That motherfucker look like a man too, man.
I ain't see that fight because I'm never into Katie Taylor fights, man. She don't bring me out. She don't bring me out. This
she was on the Andy
fight
Ruiz Joshua. She was on the Andy Ruiz Joshua one card. That's why I saw her. But the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, she losing, but that's a dude. She in there with bruh and cousin them. So Amanda Serrano got to knock her out to fucking get this to get the win though. So Amanda, we need you to dust that broad off. Go down to the UK and bring them belts back. That's my call, y'all.
Trey and the Bay, thanks for calling in. We going out to Ringer Rel in Detroit. What up?
Yo, what up, miss? I just want to say the Katie Taylor Serrano fight. Katie Taylor did look bad in her last performance. I mean, it wasn't her best performance, but we know styles make fights. And who's to say that, Katie Taylor's style don't match with Serrano's pretty good. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I don't have a favorite for it. I just want the best female to win. And I also had a question. Is that on the Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo undercard?
No, this is on the Povetkin White.
Yeah. Povetkin White.
Okay. And Mario, I just wanted to touch on the question you asked about the felony charge for the PEDs. I think that was a great question. For a fighter to go into the ring and risk their life already and someone, supposedly taking PEDs, I think that's very dangerous, man. And for her to still, in my opinion, win the fight and lose her titles and be so professional about it says a lot about Cruz' character. And I just feel like, WBC and everybody, they should do the right thing by her, I think it's a real messed up situation that in boxing you have to risk your life in this sport anyway. For someone to take a performance enhancement drug just to secure a win, you already a loser in my eyes. So, I mean, and then after the fight, when we heard what's her name? Alejandra Jimenez. When we heard her speak, everybody thought she was a man. Like literally, not to be disrespectful, but her voice was so deep. You can tell, like, just off that type of testosterone, she definitely took something. I mean, Cruz was hitting her with some powerful shots.
Rel, hate to interrupt, champ. Looks like we got Lou DiBella, or am I going to receive a text? I know they're connected. Sounds like they'll dial straight into the show. Yes, you have dialed straight in. Sean, are we ready? Or you want to keep texting me? Let's see. Sean, are we ready or you're still connecting with him? Lou DiBella. Oh, he's getting him now. No problem, Sean. I'll wait for your text. Rel, go ahead, man. I'll get you back on while we wait for Lou. Rel?
Yeah. No, I was just saying that, I hope that the WBC do right by De La Cruz, and because in the sport of boxing, you risk your life anyway. And when we heard Alejandra Jimenez in her interview after her win, we all was suspect about the way she sounded. You could tell it was a lot of testosterone in her. You could tell, like, she sounded real strong in the voice.
What is that? Speculation, Your Honor. Speculation, man. We don't. What did she even pop? Did she pop for testosterone? I mean, I'm pretty sure it was something more specific.
Yeah, I don't have no proof of nothing, but based off of what I heard, I definitely say she was taking a performance enhancement drug. Not to mention when De La Cruz was popping her with them power shots, she just kept walking forward. I mean, if you go back and watch the fight on Dazn, you can clearly see that De La Cruz was popping her. Yeah, she was walking her down. She was walking. She wasn't backing up, but she was getting popped all up in the face. But I'm not the expert. I just want WBC and everyone to do the right thing, man. Just do the right thing. Fuck politics, man. I don't know. Thanks, TBV for life, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah, man. Listen, it's not De La Cruz. It's Cruz Dazn. Cruz Dazn is her last name. Franchon Crews Dazn. And I hope they do the right thing. I hope they,
me too.
you know, do the right thing, you know, because it's an unfortunate situation. Unfortunate.
You know, everybody's talking about her voice, and that's the thing that people have to understand. Like, stuff doesn't fuck with your voice after taking it like once or twice. I mean, you could probably take it for like a full year, maybe even longer, and it'd have zero effect on your voice. Women speaking. I mean, it's gonna do certain things to the throat muscles, but it's not going to change the pitch of your voice. That doesn't come until years and years of performance use. So, you know, people got to understand that.
Man, I got to put this in the calendar. We got ourselves another heavyweight interview. Always working. Las Vegas. Caesar, you wilding over there, bruv. Caesar?
Yo.
What up?
Hey, it's too loud around me right now, so I'll just, if you can come back to me, that'd be cool.
All right. No problem. We're going out to, looking like my man in Seattle.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Boxingwords.com.
I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen. Get the sharpest knife and cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great. Mr. PBC, baby.
Dominic, what up, Dominic? Unmute. Are you busy? Going once.
Fuck, my bad. I always forget about this Skype shit. I'm so used to Blog Talk. But good morning, Ness and Mario. Great interview. I've actually been waiting to hear what Franchon's been having to say. She's so humble with her words and respectful. She could have just slaughtered her on this line, but she kept it real on 100. Shout out to the fight that's happening, and shout out to those conspiracy theories because it's grown legs. Yeah, this is the 4th in a row now. That's my call.
4th in a row. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm lost with that one. I guess.
El gran campeón puertorriqueño,
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch the gloves and go to work. Tonight, Roy? Let's go to work.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What up?
All right. Good morning, Ness. Good morning, Mario. Another good show, man. I jumped in a little late on the Franchon interview, but that was a great interview, man. She's got great personality, man. That was a dope interview. She made me laugh with some of the stuff she said, so shout out to her. But, obviously, man, you know, I'm rocking with Amanda Serrano. I think she got this one in the bag. You know, hopefully there ain't too much home cooking over there in Manchester. You know, Katie Taylor from Ireland anyway, so shouldn't be no home cooking, man. But, yeah, I'm rocking with Amanda. She's got the experience. She's got the skill. You know, she's been chasing Katie Taylor around from weight class to weight class, and the only reason she even signed to Dazn was to get that fight. She's been wanting that work. So, you know, to me, Katie been bucking, man, because she know what time it is. So, you know, shout out to Amanda, one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time that don't get enough credit. Not just the greatest woman, but period. Just one of the greatest Puerto Ricans that's ever laced up the gloves. So, you know, shout out to Amanda. And if she's the underdog, I'm gonna place a bet on her. And I'm not even a betting man. I might need some help on where I can make that bet because, you know, it ain't legal in Florida. But yeah, shout out to Amanda. Shout out TBV, man. Shout out to Mike. Get well soon, champ.
Yes, Mike did reach out at like 1:30 in the morning and let us know that he's has to remain in the hospital till Wednesday. So, but he did say he's so okay. Not much information, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Let's see. We got Liam. Talk to us.
Hello?
Yes.
How you doing, Ness? You good?
I'm good.
Good. Nice to talk to you. Good to talk to you too, Mario. I didn't have much to say. I just kind of echoing what everybody else has been saying that the Taylor and the Serrano fight. I just hope it's a fair fight. I like Taylor. Obviously, she's British or Irish or whatever, but.
Sorry to interrupt, Liam. Looks like we got our guest, Lou DiBella. Lou, how are you? Good morning. Thank you always for giving us an opportunity to talk to you, talk some boxing, man. Great unification, well, actually undisputed match, not unification. Great undisputed match with Amanda Serrano. I know you've been promoting her for quite some time now, and you've gotten her big fight, but the betting lines have her as a plus 250 and Katie Taylor's a minus 333. Isn't that a bit wide?
I hope it gets wider. I'd like to make some more money.
How are you, man? Good morning.
I mean, first of all, it's in Manchester, England, so start with her being an underdog because of that alone. You know, I mean, I don't want to say you don't go to England and get a fair shake, but for the most part, you don't go to England and get a fair shake. But if you knock somebody out, you're going to win. And if you hurt them, you have a good chance of winning. And I think that Amanda's not afraid of going to England, and I'm not afraid of her going there. I mean, that's a ridiculous overlay. She didn't beat Delphine Person. And she's a 3-1 favorite against Amanda. That's crazy. But I like it. I like it a lot. And I think that anybody who likes to bet should like it a lot, too.
Was it difficult to convince Amanda to go to Manchester?
I mean, you know, money is an incentive, and the purse got bigger to go to England. You know, unfortunately, you know, look, you don't expect men and women to have an equal playing field in a sport like boxing. You don't expect that, but the opportunities for women are limited, and when you have a huge fight ahead of you or a huge opportunity, you're under a lot of pressure to take it, and you don't have as much leverage as maybe you would like to have. I think it's a waste. I mean, I don't think it belongs as an undercard to Dillian White and Povetkin personally. I think it should be a main event at Madison Square Garden or at the theater at Madison Square Garden. I think it would get more attention, and it's the biggest female fight in history, in my view. But it's not being treated that way. So, I mean, you got to look at the good side and the bad side. I mean, you know, in England, it's a huge pay-per-view. She's getting the opportunity to become a unified champion. She's moving up 2 weight classes. It's a huge opportunity for her. If she goes abroad and she can beat Katie Taylor in England, she's the biggest international superstar in women's boxing. But beating Katie Taylor in the UK is not.
Lou? Lou, I think we lost him.
Damn. Frustrating.
Think we lost him. Damn it.
Yo, that was gonna get. About to ask.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's still alive. I just got to connect. Having hopefully they can stick around.
Well, he's absolutely right. I figured this to be the biggest fight. It's an incredible matchup, and it's such a big fight that to pose the question. Go ahead.
Lou, you there? Lou, did we lose you? All right. me see. Yeah, so we definitely are live. It's a matter of Lou connecting back with us. Lou, are you there? Nah, they dropped off. Damn.
Sucks.
Fucking
Sucks.
show business.
Yeah, that sucks because he was definitely breaking down the fight, the promotion, what it means in a very significant way. And it isn't getting well. And you know what? You had asked earlier, is it too late to say that the promotion is, that it's not getting the treatment that it deserves? I thought it was
He's
a little too
dialing back.
early,
All right,
but-
we got him on.
Okay,
Let me
great,
go to
great,
him.
Great.
Lou, you there? Lou? Oh, I mean, he's definitely there. I guess he's trying to merge. Let me wait to get the text then. Showbiz. Nope, they dropped off. It's the three-way, man.
Yeah.
Let me double check here with Caesar. Yeah, Caesar, don't hang up, baby. You are my test to make sure that it's not us, man. Yeah, man. New York City, Las Vegas, two difficult cities to connect with on the regular, bro. All right, callers while we wait. Shout out to Stainless, always being helpful. We're going to, boom, Lou's back on. Let's see. Lou, you there? I don't hear him. Lou? Maybe they're connecting. I don't know. Once again, let me double check with Caesar. Yeah, Caesar's there. Caesar's there.
Muted.
Caesar, don't you hang up. You're my test.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. Thank you.
We got you, Lou. Sorry.
Sean,
man.
what's going on, bro?
I have no clue. It's not on our end at all. It's there. It's them.
All right, so Lou.
Let me call you back. I don't know what's
No,
going on.
we hear
It's
you.
not
We
us,
hear
it's
you.
them.
We hear you. Sean, we're here. Hello? Fuck.
Damn it.
What in the world is going on? All right, you take over. I'm going to do this on my phone.
Yeah, listen, he talks about it being the biggest fight and her becoming the biggest international superstar. He's right, because that's a different thing than being pound for pound best, and so he can make that argument and still recognize what Claressa Shields has done. That said, I am actually curious to hear what he has to say, whether or not a fight of this magnitude and what the words pound for pound have come to mean over the past 10, 20, 30 years, probably, actually closer to probably about 25, 30 years, how it's evolved. And because it's evolved to the way it has, fights like this mean something. And not to say that Claressa hasn't had her share of big fights, but this is
all right. So I gave him the
for
backup
magnitude.
line, Skype. So if you hear that you went dead, it's because we're using a backup line for this important interview. Do apologize. Okay. So because I don't know, they think it's not on their end, even though Caesar is still there. Caesar's still there, but there goes Lou. So we'll use this backup line.
Something's going on.
All right. We should not have any more issues there, Lou. Are you there?
I'm here, bro. What did you lose me? What happened? I was in the middle of a good rant, and all of a sudden you were gone.
I know. I do apologize, but we're gonna rev the interview right back up because we had Franchon Crews, Dazn on. You know, she suffered some stuff with Alejandra Jimenez. So we are curious, does Amanda Serrano get VADA testing for this fight? It is undisputed, so I'm assuming WBC is on the line. So there should be VADA. When does it start?
I don't know. No one told me anything about it yet. I mean, she's registered, Amanda. Amanda's registered in the BC testing. There was testing for the Heather Hardy-Amanda fight. I mean, they were both registered. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting there's no issue with testing, but I don't know when it starts. What the fuck do I know?
Do you care if they have VADA testing?
Do I care? I'm always in favor, in general, of testing. You know, but But by the way, if they expect her to pay $25,000 or $30,000 for it, I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, but like, she's registered in the BC program, and there should be WBC VADA testing. I mean, I know that I know Amanda has no issue with being tested, and if they want testing and they pay for it, they'll be testing.
And if you mean if Eddie pays for it, or you mean VADA themselves? I mean, the WBC.
That's not how it works, bro. If there's going to be testing beyond, I'm sure there's definitely going to be the normal testing that would go on with the WBC because both girls are registered. If there's going to be testing beyond that, someone's got to pay for it. We didn't negotiate that around, but you know, as long as it's paid for, she's not going to say no to testing.
Lou, what's the rematch clause look like? Is there one, and can you give us any specifics about it?
No.
No? Awesome.
But there is one?
No, I mean, if the fight, if Amanda wins, it's probably going to be the biggest fight out there, and if the money is right, I'm sure there won't be an issue. But there's no set number in there, and like, worry about. We got the biggest fight in women's history, and you're already talking about the rematch clause, if there is one. I mean, look, the reality is Amanda's coming up 2 weight classes to fight Katie Taylor. I mean, and Katie just won won titles at 140. Amanda's a champion right now with 26. That's her best weight class, even though she's bounced around 7 weight classes. She's not like, you know, she's better fighter. You know, her best weight class, her favorite weight class is 126. She's going up 2 weight classes to fight Katie. Here's the reality. She's never going to fight Claressa Shields because they're never going to be anywhere near the same weight. So, you know, there's really, what other gigantic fight is there for Amanda? You know, if Amanda wins and the demand is there, there'll be a rematch. But if there's going to be a rematch, it's also got to be under the right terms. It ain't going to be in the UK. It ain't going to be on the undercard of something. You know, but I mean, I'm not going to worry about that now. I mean, if there's, you know, there's a huge fight on May 2nd, and that's what we're looking at right now.
I love the storyline of it all. Oh, go ahead, Ness. I'm sorry.
In social media, it seemed like before this fight was made, Amanda was insinuating that Katie didn't really want to make this fight. Why do you think it took so long to come around?
It's always hard to make, you know, major fights, and I think obviously there was a lot of uncertainty about where the fight was going to be and when. You know, originally when we first signed the deal for Amanda to fight on Dazn USA, we thought this fight was going to take place, you know, last year, right? So, and you know, it's not surprising that a big fight, a fight of this magnitude, would take time to simmer. Also, in between, you know, Katie had some rough fights. The Persone fight was a really rough fight. You know, she's been very active. It's not unusual. I mean, this fight's, it's happening in a pretty timely way when you consider what goes on in boxing. I mean, this is the biggest fight that you could make among the women, and it's happening. So I think that's a good thing. I wouldn't be looking at a dark side of it.
Now, you talked about, you know, the weight classes and the moving up and Amanda going over there. I mean, I just love the narrative of this fight. I love the storyline. It feels kind of old school. You got to look at it this way. It is old school, right? It is absolutely old school. But it's old school with a very strong, you got an A side who's the biggest boxing star in Ireland of either sex, and maybe the biggest sports star in Ireland of either sex. And she's a major commodity for Matchroom UK. And Matchroom UK is Eddie's bread and butter. And they worked this out in a way that they thought was best. I don't think they were thinking about what was best for Amanda Serrano. They were thinking about what's best for Katie Taylor. But Amanda's attitude is, you know, Amanda's been doing this a long time. All the women who've been doing it in America for a long time have been doing it under difficult circumstances. And I think the attitude was, let's get the fight made. Let's get the most money we possibly can make. You know, let me get the kind of payday that can actually help me to do something like buy a house or put money in the bank, because that's the kind of payday this is. And I'm going to have to probably knock her out to get a fair shake. And I'm going to go over there and try to knock her out and try to beat her so decisively that they can't take it from me. And
That is an old school attitude, right? I mean, I guess that is a throwback attitude. I would agree with you.
And Lou, do you feel like accomplished to be able to have brought some? I'm about to call her Amanda to this level and to this level of fight? Because in women's boxing, like you said, it's just difficult to get opportunities. So, is this like the perfect end for not end? The relationship isn't over, but you've done your job to the max, getting her this fight. In my opinion, do you feel that way?
I do feel that way, but I also feel like she did her job. I mean, when you win 7 titles in 7 weight classes, she did her job. She started doing her job before I promoted her. Jordan and Amanda had won titles before I started promoting her. I promoted her for many, many years now, but there was never a great home for women's boxing in that 7 years. That 5 years or whatever it's been a long time now that I've promoted her. I don't even know the date I first started promoting her, but I mean, she's fought on Showtime Extreme. She's fought on Broadway boxing. She's gone to Puerto Rico to fight. She's traveled around the world to fight. She's fought on DAZN.
Jesus Christ! You telling me we lost him? Yep. Problem with the network.
Yo, you froze for that whole time.
Yeah, nah, it's got to be internet. He's gonna get pissed off. Lou has no hair on his tongue. We lost him, bro. Horrible. My man's gonna what the fuck is up with your phone? Lou. Jonathan said Lou ain't coming back. You're right. I'm trying though. Lou. I think he's connecting him. Lou.
Yes.
You
guys having technical problems?
You love us, man. Thank you for continuing to
We
try.
are.
I promise you, if you drop off one more time, just never mind.
All right, no problem. Stuff happens, guys. I mean, I can get upset about stuff, but not over an internet connection, and you can't control that. Come on.
Thank you.
So, no, what I was saying when I got cut off and froze basically was that I agree with you. It is a throwback. To go in, to go to hostile territory. It is a throwback. I do take credit. I'll take some credit because I think I have been a good soldier for women's boxing. It's a cause I believe in. I think that there are a lot of really, really top quality female fighters right now, and that they've earned the right to get the attention they deserve. This is the kind of fight that can change things for the positive going forward. This is the Super Bowl in some ways of women's boxing. If you're looking at the pound for pound best women in boxing, it's in whatever order you want to put them. It's Shields and Amanda and Katie Taylor and probably Cecilia at this point. And 2 of those women who are close in weight class, one of those women moving up 2 weight classes, are going to get it on a very big pay-per-view fight card in the UK, in a fight card that's going to get international attention. It's going to get attention all over the world, and that can only be good for women's boxing, and that can only be good for Amanda and for Katie. And I think Amanda's going to make the most of this opportunity. I think Amanda is the best fighter in the world among the women, and I think she's going to prove it on May 2nd.
Does the winner snatch the pound for pound slot from Claressa?
What do you think?
I mean, people are.
I mean, it depends. Claressa. First of all, there is no pound for pound sort of slot. There's always a pound for pound argument. Like right now, who's pound for pound in men? Among the men, I would argue Canelo. I know there's a lot of people that think I'm crazy and think it's Bud Crawford. Then there are other people that would say Lomachenko. I think that the winner of that fight can safely say I'm the pound for pound queen of women's boxing. But at the same time, I think Claressa could probably, as long as she doesn't lose, continue to say it herself. So, I mean, it's going to be an argument. But I would say that the winner of this fight has a great argument.
I think the way you said it best was that the winner of this fight becomes the biggest international woman superstar, and that's different from pound for pound, or the idea, or what's evolved from pound for pound. So I could see both answers.
Well,
being right, to be honest with you.
you can make an argument. You can make a decent argument that Amanda has a right to say it already. I mean, pound for pound is supremacy, regardless of the weight. When you've won titles in 7 weight classes, you have a tremendous argument for pound. And then when you go on and you beat the woman that many people believe to be, if you went around the world right now and asked who is pound for pound, and you did a popularity contest, it would probably be Katie Taylor would probably win. Claressa might be second. I think she'd win if there was a vote in the United States. But if she's won 7 titles and 7 weight classes, becomes undisputed champion 2 weight classes above her most comfortable weight, and beats Katie Taylor in the UK, how can you argue that she's not? I'm not saying that Claressa couldn't argue that she is, and maybe there'd be a debate among a lot of fans, but in my mind, if Amanda beats Katie Taylor, she's pound for pound.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that logic. So switching gears, unless Ness, you had another one right there, follow up? No, okay. Switching gears, Regis Prograis. It's well documented what you've said following the fight. You want to get him back in there with the world champion. Has anything changed for you as far as what you plan on doing, or what's the next step with him? Can you give us any generalizations?
He's fighting Hooker, champ. Where are you, Mario? You didn't know he's fighting Hooker?
Oh my God, he's fighting Hooker on Dazn. What am I talking about?
Oh man,
my bad.
He's fighting Hooker on. He's fighting Hooker on April 17th in Maryland. Obviously Ramirez has got Ramirez has 2 mandatories lined up. Taylor has a mandatory lined up against some guy from Thailand, and the best fight available, the best fight we could make for Regis was the matchup with he and Hooker, and I think it's a great way to get right back on top of the division. And I'm looking forward to the fight. I think it's a great match of styles, and I have a feeling Regis is going to look spectacular on April 17th.
It's the kind of fight, in my opinion, that it elevates a career. Like, because both guys can come out on top because it can be such a great fight. Was that kind of in the plans? Like, did you want something for him that would be just would grab attention both before the fight and after the fight? Because I'm sure that we're going to be talking about whatever kind of ending we get long after that fight's over.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's what you're looking to do, and then that's what you're looking for. You want to make a statement. You want to make a statement that resounds, when the fight's announced, that people know it's a good fight and they're excited about it, and then you want a statement that resounds after the fight when people say, wow, look what he did to Mo Hooker. Regis is still the best at 140. And that's what we wanted to do. But, basically, I followed the marching orders of Regis and his team. They went into that World Boxing Super Series and stayed in it till the bitter end because they wanted to fight the biggest fights. And then when the tournament was over, rather than complain about a decision that could have gone either way and a funky 12th round scorecard from the WBA judge, Regis was a gentleman and just said, hey, it was a great fight. I didn't get the decision, but now I'm back, on a march to prove that I'm the best. And there is no other way to do that, no better way to do that than go out and find the best guy you can fight and fight him next. And that's what we did. We found the best guy we could fight, and Regis is fighting him next. Those were Regis.
Yep. Looks like we lost him. Yeah, I'm not even going to try.
Did I lose you again, guys?
No, you're there. Hello? You're there.
You're there.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't hear anything, so I was getting worried.
So did we.
Any last question for me before I go off into the?
I do have one.
The gloomy, overcast day.
I do want to know about your conversations with Impact Network because we had Steven Marcano on. Before he spoke to you and he said he was going to speak to you, then he texted me and said the conversations went well, and I was rooting for you. The minute we seen Impact, I told Marcano to holler at you. You got heavyweights that need television like Stephen Big Shot Shaw. Unfortunately, Alexander Teslenko lost, but you have Teslenko. You have a few heavyweights and fighters.
I have Stephon Shaw, Junior Fa, Hemi Ohio, who's one of the best prospects in the heavyweight division. And then I have a guy that's training right now for the Uzbeki Olympic team, but he may be the best of all of the young prospects in the heavyweight division, Jalalov. But I have a lot of young heavyweights, and there's going to be an announcement coming very soon about a heavyweight show that's coming in June, and that announcement will come soon. I don't want to say any more about it right now, but there's going to be a heavyweight fight in June. You'll get to see some of the guys I'm talking about. I was very happy to talk to Steve Marcano, and if Impact's going to become another player and another platform where they're going to regularly do boxing, then my fighters need platforms, and the more platforms, the better. The more opportunities to get your fighters seen and your product seen, the better. And I think that I'm looking forward. I was able to make a marriage on. There's a March 27th show with a Philly special that Raging Babe Michelle Rosado is doing in Philadelphia. My fighter, Stephen Ortiz is fighting Damon Allen in the main event. And I have two of my heavyweights fighting each other. Elvis Garcia is fighting Delgado, who's an undefeated Puerto Rican heavyweight that Chino trains. Elvis Garcia is an undefeated. He was a Mexican Olympian, and he was the main sparring partner for AJ for the fight against Andy Ruiz, because he's another sort of like undersized but talented Mexican-American heavyweight. And Elvis Garcia is fighting another undefeated heavyweight, Delgado, in Philadelphia. That show's going to be on Impact. I was able to make the marriage with that show on Impact, and I think that's great because my fighters are going to get to be seen in 86 million free TV, basic cable households, and that's great. Like, that's great exposure, potential exposure. So I'm really excited about that, like opening that I was able to open the door with Impact TV, and I look forward to doing more stuff with Impact and with Steve Marcano in the future.
Hey, Lou, last question, because I know that your time, valuable, and you've already done so much to be with us. We appreciate it very much. This is going to be a quick question. Lennox Allen, he had fought Derek Webster last. I was really excited about that win. I had picked him, and I thought, he looked good.
Lennox did look good, man. He made me some money. I caught him at a plus 440.
The rest of the year?
I think I caught him at a plus 440, and he made me some good money like 2 fights ago. Isn't he number one?
Well, what happened was that fight was done to make him a mandatory, and we've had to wait a long time to get that sort of opportunity, and now it looks like Lennox is going to be fighting. I don't have the kid's name in front of me, but it's the Cuban kid.
Oh, okay.
It's a kid that was a Cuban Olympian. He's a PBC fighter. He's with Al Heyman.
Frank Sanchez?
Leon Margulis is his.
David Morel is his name.
Yeah, that's his name. That is his name. He does not have a lot of fights. He was a sensational Cuban amateur, and that's a fight that the WBA ordered, and we made a deal. And I don't have the date in front of me, but that fight is coming in April in Minnesota.
That'll be on the 11th of April at the Armory in Minneapolis.
Correct. Thank you for having that in front of you. But look, that's I think Lennox has got a difficult style for a lot of people, and I think that the Cuban kid's not particularly experienced as a pro, and I think that Lennox has a good chance to upset the apple cart and shock some people again, and that should be a good fight.
And hopefully his trainer, Arliano Sosa, starts to get some credit because he's got a stable over there that's really getting big. Chris Colbert, Big Baby, Lennox Allen, Rashad Mati, Nikita Abali. Like, he's producing talent out of that little gym, and it would be good to have him get his shine.
Sosa's a good New York boxing guy. He always has been, and now the stable is reflecting it, and the success he's having is reflecting it. And I'm happy for Sosa. I respect him a lot, and he's earning what's coming to him.
Well, I'll deal with them because he needs that TV time, man. I've got to watch him personally numerous times at the Deontay Wilder camp. The man knows how to handle himself. You know, I was almost sad when he left Heyman. I thought he wasn't going to be able to get fights, but you've kept him very active with the Broadway boxing series. So just, thank you again.
All right, buddy. Good to talk to you guys. Be good. Bye-bye.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Promoter Lou DiBella. And very happy, man. Very happy for him and to hear that he's gotten that Impact Network deal. See, listen, man, this little old podcast, you guys are getting to see things happen right before your eyes. We just talked to Marcano about this not too long ago. I kept telling him about how good Stephen Big Shot Shaw was. And he really made the call, man. This is very interesting to watch boxing, unravel before our eyes, and we're all being privy to these, behind the scenes kind of things, man. Dope.
Extra dope. Look, Lennox Allen is a guy. I'm glad I got to get that final question because, man, I really like that dude. And I think if he comes out, because it was weird, he beat Derek Webster, and I didn't think that he was going to jump in right away. I mean, that's stupid. But then I saw the next guy on his resume was, on his record coming up as 2-0, and it was like, oh man, don't do him like this. Come on. But I agree though with Lou. If he can upset the apple cart on this one, it's got to be time to start looking at this kid because he's so awkward. And
they playing him out, yo. They going for him. 2-0 is like must be a standout amateur trying to take his ranking because he's like number one in one of the divisions, one of the rankings. Let me see. He fights at 68, so let me tell you what exact ranking is it. Because I seen him. He's ranked at number one. And probably the WBA. You know how they do, but let's check it. In the meantime, Rap in Combat, what up? Rap in Combat. You got to unmute. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Sure do. What's going on, champ?
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
All good, all good.
Very well, very well.
First and foremost, just want to put some prayers up for Mike once again. Definitely shouts out to him. Looking forward to hearing back from him, hopefully after next Wednesday and stuff. Shout out to you guys with the interviews today. It's really dope. I didn't have a chance to hear the rest of the Bellas, but it was starting good so far. Just real brief, wanting to talk about Serrano. I know you mentioned this about her and the Jordans, but you got to mention what Jordans she was wearing too, man. She was rocking the Jordan 11s. Those are like classics. Those are like the best performance Jordans you could wear next to ones almost.
Bro, but they so stiff and heavy. They don't bend in the sole. The soles are thicker than boxing shoes. I don't know, man. Dangerous move, man. Dangerous.
For sure. But I also think, too, what she's trying to do maybe is, keep herself like marketable. And, Jordan Brand is definitely, it could be definitely something that's sensible for her being a Latina. Definitely marketable, being at the top of her game. You never know. Sponsorship could happen there. So
definitely, man. If she's thinking outside the box, for sure. But I don't want to sacrifice performance for sponsorship, especially not in this fight. That's all I'm saying. Like, yo, Mario, you think she's gonna wear the Jordans for this fight? This is undisputed. This is all the belts, all the marbles.
I don't think so.
And it's no rematch clause. Like, she get to walk away. Lou talking about if we do win, we ain't fighting over there. That mean there ain't no rematch clause. That means you get to negotiate. That's wow. Wow.
Yeah, I doubt she wears the Jordans. I doubt she wears the Jordans because she always switches it up and her gear's always fresh. So we'll see what's up. But that's all, man.
For sure. Rap in Combat, thanks for calling in, man. We going out to Stone Bone Boxing. Colorado. All right. Stainless Boomerang. Going once. Twice. He working. All right. Well, we out, man. That's GTO, Instagram, and Twitter. That's been our show. 3 interviews, man. Make sure you spread the word, because obviously not a ton of people who clicked the link because of the title. But we brought you some very interesting interviews with, we started off with 9:30 a.m. at Chino Rivas. And then we went into Franchon Crews, Dazn. And then we got Lou DiBella. I bet you I'll check my messages and Claressa hit me. Let me double up.
At Mario Munguia on Twitter, at Mario Munguia on Instagram. Come fuck with me. Listen, shout out to Mike. Hope he's feeling better. If he's listening, if he's not, I'll just tell him myself when I talk to him. But yeah, man, great show. You know, I'll definitely put on Twitter, you know, let everybody know that we had multiple guests and timestamp them. And so, yeah, hopefully that Lou interview gets the shine it deserves, because that was a great interview. It really was. Listen, yo, Raul's interview was incredible too. I was like listening and playback while I was pissing, and it was on there. I had just pushed play, so I could hear what y'all were talking about while I was gone. And yeah, man, he's just a good dude. But till the next one.
All right. Peace. Shout out to Lou, man.